coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
That shit always gets me in a good mood, man. I don't know what it is. You wouldn't think that would be the case. He's pretty pissed off. Kurt Russell, man. I think Kurt Russell does the best wider between him and Kevin Costner. What do y'all think? But that's not the type of conversation tonight, now is it? We done had I think everybody that comes in here tonight, most of them anyway, because I don't got a lot of Georgia fans that come in here for whatever reason. I guess they think I'm mean to them. They just got to call them the hedge pissers. Damn. But, seems like there's been a lot of losing of the bowels, so to speak, this Saturday by quite a few teams. You got Texas people who basically been ballyhooing the fact that they are back, and they still may be back. They could probably take a loss right here and still turn things around. But the thing is, they can just lose. Damn, man, they got beat by double digits at home. At DK Royal Field or whatever it's called. I can't even remember that's Darrell K. Royal Football Field, right? Which, didn't he go to Oklahoma? Man, that must suck that you had to name your field after your chief rivals, one of your chief rivals' alums. But, yeah, it made things a lot easier. My team, Alabama, shit to bed. Oklahoma, shit to bed. Texas really shit to bed as well. And even those lovable USC Skittle shitters blew a big lead. They blew a 28-14 lead, man. That don't sound like USC, does it? That sounds like something that Linky boy, stinky Linky, the guy from Mule Shoe or wherever the hell he's from out there in the bowels of New Mexico. Damn, Lincoln, you blowed another double-digit lead. Now you're 3-4, man. And they still haven't won a game on the road in the Big Ten. Makes it a lot easier for my two Crimson Nations when we lose that these other two jackasses lose. That being USC and Texas. The only downside for me this week was that con time Deion Sanders finally won his 5th game at Colorado. Last year he couldn't get that 5th win. He got it now. He's 5-2. But he is playing somewhat of a weaker schedule this year. So it may allow for con time to finally get in maybe a mid-tier bowl, which disappoints the hell out of me. People's like, well, you can't call him con time now because he's winning games. What y'all don't understand, I don't call con time because whether he wins or loses. I call him that because he's a con man. He's just a general piece of shit. So, hey, I'm just trying to tell you exactly why I called him in that. By the way, we got a few people popping up in here. We have the Killer Breeze in the house. I sent you an invite, Killer Breeze. At least I think I did. I've been dabbling in the tequila a little bit tonight. Hope I don't insult anybody. Killer Breeze said, what's up? Fred Bagley's in the house. He has his posse badge as well. Dennison's in the house. He has his badge. Damn, the whole posse's here. This goes to show you that Alabama and Oklahoma fans, even when we're losing, we're always here, man. People say, where are they at? Where are the Alabama fans? Where are Oklahoma? I'm right here. What they get mad about is if we don't roll over and take their shit. I'm going to come in here and take it. Matter of fact, I owe the Tennessee Volunteers something. I made a little bet with them that if Alabama were to lose to Tennessee, which they did, and I hate to harp on officiating, but the officiating's been horrible this year. And I'm not just talking about Alabama, although we did get screwed a few times in Knoxville. Surprise, surprise. Seems like every game this year has been impacted by the officiating. They're making themselves a part of the game too much. And a lot of the calls are just not consistent. And they're making too much of an impact on the game. That's my problem with the whole officiating thing. They need to make them full-time. They need to make them full-time so that they take the job seriously. And so I do owe the Tennessee Volunteers a little song. I'm going to sing Rocky Top for them in just a second. Tim Gillespie's in the house. He has his badge as well. And he says any day Texas loses is a good day. Damn right. Damn right, Tim. Harvey Johnson says it's mule shoe is west of Lubbock. Okay. I didn't know it was in New Mexico or if it's still in Texas. I didn't know Texas claims mule shoe. Oh, man. Comanche Sooners in the house. He says the OU will be 6-6 and USC will be 6-6, and they'll go to the Texas Bowl. Damn, who wants to go to a damn bowl named after Texas? Not me. Shit. Yeah, how about those Volunteers? They pulled it out, didn't they? Had a little help from the officiating. I hate to blame the officiating. I hate to be that guy, but it's pretty bad. But it wasn't really officiating, Redmayne. It really wasn't officiating. It was more Jalen Milroe, who's supposed to be the face of the team. I know he don't play defense before y'all start stating obvious, but he's the face of the team, which means he's supposed to be the guy over there firing them up. And all I see Jalen Milroe is making turnovers. The last 3 games he's had like 6 turnovers attributed to him. 6 turnovers. And he sits on the sidelines with his mouth pouting and shit. I put it on Jalen Milroe and I put it on the Alabama coaching staff because it's up to them to get these guys motivated and get them to get their mind straight. And Jalen Milroe has lost his edge to me. That's his problem. You see him doing these little NIL commercials with these guys' nice little polo shirt on. And then he makes a little statement after the Vanderbilt game and he says, stand strong, blah, 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 makes a nice little biblical quote. And then at the end, he ends it with, buy my Bama Forever gear. Support your team. Buy my gear. Gee, Jalen, damn, dude. Really? You think we want to buy your shit after you lost to Vanderbilt? You got to earn that shit, man. You got to earn the right for people to buy your product, man. Especially off the back of the Alabama people, right? But here goes. Here y'all go. This is one time only. You'll probably won't ever hear me do this again. But here we go. Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Is that good enough? Did I pay my bet? Did I pay my bet up or what? Come on now. Say hello to your new number 1 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. That's right. Oregon, after struggling with Idaho and Boise State, have righted the ship somewhat, although it was very small smidget. By my small smidget over Ohio State, they got the job done. That's all that matters, right? Don't know if I want to be number 1, Oregon. Not right now. That shit's like a curse, man. Georgia was number 1 that got beat. Alabama was number 1 that got beat. Texas number 1 that got beat. I don't know who Oregon plays next, but, man, I hope y'all are off this week. Are y'all off this week, right, guy? So we got here. Fred Bagley says when it's warranted, it's okay to blame them. OU and OSU last year was blatant. It was. People say it's an excuse. It's really not an excuse if it's the truth, like Fred's alluding to. And it's been apparently happening a lot here lately, not just in the Alabama-Tennessee game, but across the board. The games I've watched, man, numerous times. It'd be teams I don't like that they're screwing over. I mean, they are affecting the outcome of the game by making incorrect calls. And then sometimes they'll go to review and they'll reverse the call. And the premise of the review is that you cannot reverse the call unless there is evidence that's just absolutely undebatable that you have to overturn the call. And instead, they go and overturn the call with very shaky evidence. Case in point, Miami and Virginia Tech earlier this year. Virginia Tech catches a Hail Mary in the end zone, and it's called a touchdown. They review it. There's really no conclusive evidence to point to the fact that maybe Virginia Tech didn't catch the ball, and yet they reversed it. And Miami continues to get lucky. They got lucky against California, barely squeaked by Louisville today. We all know that was probably about the ACC trying to keep trying to keep Miami in the mix to be undefeated and maybe even get 2 teams in if Clemson continues to win. Because, surprise, surprise, here comes the Clemson Tigers. After losing a game to Georgia 34-3 badly, Clemson has recovered nicely. Clemson's starting to look like the old Clemson. And I know everybody gives Dabo Swinney hell about, and by the way, another team that shit the bed today, that's one of our blue bloods, 1989 M's in the house. Midnight Posse, that's right. Michigan shit the bed too today. So all the teams that I like shit the bed. So, Michigan lost to Illinois today, 21-7. I really think that the Sharon Moore hire was just a knee-jerk hire to me, an emotional hire, and that's the worst kind of me. It usually don't work out. I think once Michigan gets through the Sharon Moore era, Michigan will be back to winning football games like Michigan's supposed to do. The Duck Knight is in the house. The Duck Knight says, Dan is a great motivator. I'm not worried about it getting in their heads. Killer Breeze, I sent you an invite to be in the show if you want to be in the show, buddy. Peckerhead. Dan's a great motivator. I'm not worried about it getting in their heads. Well, Duck Knight, I like Dan Lanning. I really do. But no coach can ever keep it from getting in their heads. Case in point, y'all almost lost to Idaho. 24-14 over Idaho's not exactly Dan Mullen instilling a go-to effort. I like Oregon. I like Dan, but let's not pretend that Dan's got some magic formula now that no other coach has ever had in 100 years. Every coach is going to have their players have a game where they're not all focused. Something's going to happen. You're going to get distracted, and you're going to lose a game that you shouldn't lose. Happens to everybody. It's happened to all the great coaches, and Dan Lanning will be no different. He will eventually lose a game this year, in my opinion. I don't think Oregon's going undefeated. Just saying. They might, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's just like it's always a team that you don't expect. Like Iowa State today, they almost got beat by UCF, who's been struggling like hell the past couple of weeks, looked like crap. Mississippi State, the last 2 weeks, after looking like total shit, has come on to almost beat they give Georgia, they put 31 points on Georgia, Mississippi State. And then they almost beat Texas A&M today. And they're 1-6. So it looks like Mississippi State's trying to come around a little bit. You just never know. Purdue, team was getting blowed out left and right. They play an Illinois team that's only lost 1 game and put 49 points on Illinois and almost win that game. You just don't know what you're going to get. Halo Master says Clemson sucks. It's the ACC. Come on, man. You might be right. Excuse me. You might be right, Halo Master. Now, I did think about that when I said it. But still, the ACC still has some pretty decent teams in it. Virginia, I think, is what now, 5-2? So they got a decent record. Miami's undefeated. They beat an SEC team on the road, Florida. Florida's not the greatest Florida in the world right now, but you still go in the swamp and win. That's still respectable. So SMU looking really good this year. What about Army and Navy? This is a good old poke in the eye for the NIL people out there. All these spoiled ass athletes that want to get NIL money, them and their damn parents that are living through them vicariously, these parents and relatives that are making them lose their edge, while you have these players for Army and Navy who probably ain't getting any kind of NIL. I'm venturing to say they're probably not getting any. I could be wrong. But they're out there playing it for the love of the game. And they really care about what they're doing out there, not about their next NIL deal, not whether they're going to look good in this polo shirt 2 weeks from now in their next commercial like Jalen Milroe's been doing. Army and Navy, undefeated, ranked together for the first time since 1960. And today they both won again. And guess who has to play Army and Navy this year? Notre Dame. Notre Dame can put the service academies out of the mix, or Notre Dame can be the team that puts them over the top and gives them that quality win. Wouldn't that be great if either Army or Navy won the national championship amongst all these spoiled-ass NIL bitches out there? Wouldn't that be great? Damn right. Damn right it would be great. Killer Breeze, you want to be on tonight or no? Am I like drugs in the 1980s to Killer Breeze? Just say no. Might be better you're not on, man. I might embarrass you a little bit tonight. How'd y'all like my rendition of Rocky Top? Did y'all like that? Yeah, it seems BV cannot manage the entire team. Well, maybe not. We shall see. It's been a pretty bit misleading this year for Oklahoma. They've had a lot of great bad injuries, decimated by injuries. But you know what I mean. You talked about this before, Killer, that them allowing Cal Gundy to be forced to resign. He didn't resign because he wanted to, like some Oklahoma people want to naively claim. He was forced to resign. Then Jeff Lebby, who didn't resign, but he was sort of, they give him hell the whole season, and yet his offense was in the top 5. And so he's like, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and take the first head coaching job that comes along. And bam, there it is. Mississippi State takes Jeff Lebby. Everybody was happy. I thought that was the shit, boy. That was giggle. Giggling like a bunch of schoolgirls. They got the way. It ain't so funny now, is it? A lazy-ass hire. Seth Luttrell, that was a lazy hire. I don't care what anybody says. That was a lazy-ass hire. Brent Venables shouldn't have buckled the politically correct pressures and allowed Cal Gundy to resign, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that could have been done differently, but you can't change it now, so I guess we might as well move on. And the other thing was Dylan Gabriel. I heard from numerous Oklahoma people, this ain't me saying this, so don't get mad at me, that Dylan Gabriel was basically forced out by Jackson Arnold and his daddy, and basically said they were going to enter the transfer portal if Dylan Gabriel stayed. Now, will have Dylan Gabriel beat Texas? Probably not. But I venture to say that he probably could have definitely helped y'all get really close to beating Tennessee, if not beating Tennessee. I doubt it would have been 35-9 today against South Carolina, although the 3 turnovers didn't help, but I don't think Dylan Gabriel would have had 3 turnovers. So for people that say, Dylan Gabriel couldn't do any better, that's being a bit naive, man. Dylan Gabriel is now in the Heisman Trophy hunt. He's listed at the odds-on favorite second right now, Dylan Gabriel. Fred Bagley says, patience, people, these things always run in cycles. This was never going to be our year. I've said all along, 2025 and beyond, in my opinion. Okay. All right. I can go with that, Fred. I can go with that. Eric Basham says, NIL has proven to cause parity all throughout college football, even as the mighty SEC has become a more level playing field. The reason why it's caused parity is not what you think, though, in my opinion. What is your reason for thinking that NIL's caused parity? It ain't because Wake Forest is able to pay players or the Army or the Navy, because they really can't. What it's done to make for parity is something that nobody really took into account. It's made these players lazy, and they've lost their freaking edge, and they get all this shit in their freaking head from their stupid-ass relatives and their little agents. And it's just unrealistic expectations that they're giving them heading into the NFL, which is going to be their supposed future employer. Because you can't just up and leave any NFL team anytime you get ready, especially if you're under a contract. Like, for example, Miami couldn't come in and steal away. Miami couldn't come in and steal away someone's starting quarterback. Say they come in and they stole away Kansas City's starting quarterback without getting something in return. You see, I use my team as an example, Alabama. We went and took Jahmyr Gibbs from Georgia Tech, really good running back. And Georgia Tech didn't get shit in return. You set these players up for unrealistic expectations. They get in the NFL, they're not going to how to fucking act. And they're probably going to not succeed. Excuse my language. That's probably going to get the red flag. I got some warnings, by the way, just to let y'all know that I need to cut down on some of my really explicit cussing, like the F words and whatnot. But anyway, I'm going to bring in Killer Breeze now and see what he's got to say about the events of today. Not just Oklahoma. There's a lot of Oklahoma people in here, but there was a lot of shitting of the bed today. How's it going, brother?
What's happening?
Not much. Decided I'd come in here and do something that you've been asking me to do for a while.
Tapping on the tequila tonight? Well,
yeah.
That's
why I need you to come in here, man. I can't drink my damn tequila if I'm having to talk all the time.
What's the
You see what they done to me, man, and drove me to drinking.
Yeah. Well, this can do it to you every once in a while. It's more than a little frustrating, man. I but it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you, man, with the parity that they have in college football.
Did it not do your heart good, though, to see some of the shots of the Texas fans? Damn, man. I wish I had screenshotted that shit, man. There were some epic shots of them morons, man. I mean, they just knew that this was going to be a walkover, and they're the ones that got walked over.
Well, you're getting to see it firsthand of what it's like to follow Texas. This was par for the course for Texas. This is typically what happens to them. The minute that they start getting any shine on them, they usually fall flat, just like they did, getting their butts kicked at home after their mighty win over Oklahoma last week, which everybody knew was
well, look, this is no slight at Oklahoma, but Oklahoma and Michigan, the two big wins they had that everybody was ballyhooing, those two teams aren't the same Oklahoma and Michigan, from a few years back. Oklahoma's decimated by injuries, first of all, and Michigan just done lost everything from last year. They ain't shit. They're now 4-3. They lost to Illinois today. So Texas's big wins were over teams that were really not that good.
Yeah,
they haven't really been tested yet.
No, that's what Oklahoma fans were saying all year. It's what was, it was annoying that everybody wanted to talk about how, anointing Texas as the kings of the SEC when they hadn't done anything yet. And now you're starting to see what everybody's talking about. This is kind of what they do. And again, they didn't just lose; they got beat handily today. But I want to go back.
Zachary Bass, I think it was Zachary Bass or Thunder OU Center sent me this picture. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Look at him holding his mouth, man. He's like, "Look, I got a dick garage."
A bone in the garage. That's right.
This has made my night so much easier. I am so glad. I usually don't like Georgia, but I am so glad they beat Texas. Go ahead, brother. I interrupted you.
No. Listen, it was great. It was a great night. I mean, if Oklahoma and Alabama, if the Crimson Nations are going to pick nights to lose, it might as well be on the nights where Texas loses and Tebow gets his ass kicked by Maryland after leading by 14 in the fourth quarter.
Man, these aren't even hard road games, and he can't win a freaking Big Ten road game.
There's some people around the USC program that think that he is losing on purpose because he's about to leave for the NFL.
Well, he's got an $88 million buyout, man. I'd lose on purpose too.
Yeah. He's definitely. I don't think he's losing on purpose. I think he just sucks as a coach, which unfortunately might be the same case for BV. It looks like Riley is nothing better than a good offensive coordinator, and it might be the same thing for BV. I appreciate you trying to give Oklahoma the benefit of decimated by injuries, but I can't give them that. At the end of the day, every one of those wide receivers. Do you know who was the best wide receiver for them today? The best wide receiver for Oklahoma today was a freshman walk-on. A freshman walk-on. Every other player, by the way, last week, every wide receiver that they started last week that was still a 4-star prospect. So how is it that, you can't, even with the injuries that we have right now, that Oklahoma has right now, they certainly still have equal talent to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt somehow finds a way to go out on the field and win. So I just can't, man. You and I have had many conversations. I've been a BV fan and a BV supporter since day one because I really believed that what he was building over there was good. And if you look at what he's doing on the defensive side, he is improving the team. But man, he just cannot manage an offense. This is the worst offense I've ever seen.
I'm waiting for some Texas fans to come here and say, "Yeah, we're living rent-free in your head. We're living rent-free in your head, and that's why you're talking about us." No, y'all just look like idiots. Look at this woman, man.
You won't see
like
that.
She's going through some kind of devil worshiping ceremony.
You won't see that from Texas. They will never come in after a loss. That's not who they are. They will hide tonight. They will. They might talk amongst themselves, but they won't show their face in the chat room tonight. You can bet your ass on that.
Corrections 101 uses one of his Outlaw Posse membership coins for a member for 4 months. I appreciate the hell out of that. Hey, Outlaw, Boomer Sooners, Texas still sucks.
Yeah, they will always suck, and they will always be weak.
You got another coin being played. I'll let you read that one out from No Cojones Kelly.
What is that? What is it? Pouterus? What is that?
That's some damn Cajun shit. And I can't I don't know Cajun, man. I thought you did since you was from LSU.
Well, I know that's Poe, but I don't know what Pouterus is. Who is that supposed to be?
They spell everything with an EAUX on it.
Cojones, what the hell are you talking about, man? What the?
I think he's been dipping in that tequila too. You're gonna have to translate. I don't speak Cajun. You're gonna have to translate that shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I know that's obviously a play on some team, but I don't know what the hell that is.
Po Texas.
Maybe. Oh, Texas. Oh, I got you.
See, y'all shouldn't be putting that EAUX on everything, man.
He's right. Texas is but you saw it firsthand tonight. But yeah, tonight, a lot of big name losses tonight. A lot of big name losses. Nebraska got their ass handed to them by Indiana. I thought is Indiana, by the way.
It's like Bizarro World, man. You got Indiana beating Nebraska 56-7. That sounds like something that Tom Osborne would do to somebody. Yeah. Not the other way around.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I've never.
It's been a crazy year, man. There's been a lot of stupid upsets.
Well, let's think about this. Is Indiana going to end up in the playoff? Are they going to end up? I'm not kidding, man. Who else is going to beat them on their schedule?
And they was talking about Indiana still has some tough games against Washington and Michigan. I'm like,
Washington and Michigan?
By name only. I like Michigan, but I'm just saying they got the same Michigan from.
I like Michigan too. I certainly have love for our Michigan brother, 1989M. But come on, man, that's
He knows.
At a certain point, you just have to call it what you see on TV. What you see on the television screen.
He knows what Jim Harbaugh did to him.
Yeah,
Jim Harbaugh did do the exact same thing that Tebow did or Lincoln Riley did, but it's sort of in the same way. It's just he basically gutted the program when he left.
Jim Harbaugh did the same thing he did everywhere he's been. He builds them up, and then he leaves them in shambles. If they hadn't, I mean, he did the same thing in the NFL. He kind of did the same thing at Stanford. If it wasn't for David Shaw to come in and get things back on track for a little while.
I'm gonna let my agent George Contupis address this question and see if he's okay with this shit. I'll let you read it out.
So, hey, Outlaw, you and Hall of Fame Jason, please do a video together. Come OU versus Bama time. Well, first of all, you got to appreciate what the man's trying to do here. He loves the Outlaw. He's clearly a fan of the marshmallow, which is fine.
Maybe the bagman knows the history and he's just messing with me.
Well, that would be good.
But that is Killer Breeze's nickname for him. He's the marshmallow. I would like to take credit for that, but that's all Killer Breeze.
Now, I don't see that video taking place. The video actually has taken place once before.
Yeah,
and it was a train wreck.
Well, I mean, me and him, I think we done maybe 2 videos together. I can't remember, but anyway, he ended up calling me racist in front of everybody. So if he wants to be on my show, he can be on. But he's not gonna have me on his show where he can mute me and block me and shit and censor me because I feel like Donald Trump on ABC at that point.
He just doesn't like criticism, man. He doesn't like anyone that disagrees with him. I mean, he did the same thing to me. He called Colorado a sleeping giant when Deion took over, and when I disagreed with him, he started blasting me, telling me that I needed to take my ignorant racist hatred back to the Outlaw channel. I'm just like, well, dude, what the hell are you talking about?
His question to me was, by you calling him Con Time Deion Sanders, do you think people may think that you're being racist? And he didn't come out and say I was racist, but to pose that question in front of everybody like that is just like trying to set me up and get people to think that I'm racist just by saying he's Con Time. I didn't know the word Con Time was a racial slur. I never knew that was a racial slur. Is it?
That's the problem with the way the racism card gets pulled. Is that it's almost never based on merit. It's always based on just using it as a weapon, which I think is exactly what was going on then. But look, to be fair, just to have just for the good karma out in the world, I don't wish any ill will towards Jason. But I think he's pretty thin-skinned, and at least that's the way he's been with me.
I tell you what, Bagman, you tell Jason if he wants to do a show with me, he wants to come on this channel and do a show with me that the week of that game, I'll do it. But I'm gonna have a mediator, somebody that's like unbiased. I'm gonna have Killer Breeze on.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'll have another Oklahoma person on, have another Alabama person on. We'll have like a 2-set. I'll bring Jonathan Lewis back.
There you go. So, 1989, even Con Time got a win today. Con Time I'm disappointed. He's doing better than I thought he was going to do this year because I didn't even pick him to get to 5 wins.
His schedule's just a little bit weaker this year too, so it's going to help him a little bit. He's probably going to get to 6-7 wins at this point.
I just didn't think. God damn it! If he gets bowl eligible, it's just going to be so disappointing.
He'll be the next head coach at Florida State.
Hey, you laugh. I told you he's gonna. Now, but I don't know if he's gonna stay in college. I don't think he wants to recruit, man. I just don't think he wants to do the work. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's certainly the way it seemed like to me. And again, I still think once his kids are gone, I think he's leaving. I think he's leaving Colorado once his kids are out of there.
No, Coney's Kelly. I'm not going to read your comment out because I really have a question for you. LSU actually beat Arkansas today and beat them handedly. looks like now LSU's in pretty good position now to me. I hate to say that because I don't like Brian Kelly. If Brian Kelly wasn't there, it'd make it a lot easier for me to root for LSU because I actually like LSU. But
yeah,
I don't like Brian Kelly, man. I can't stand that dude. And you think
he's a jackass.
You think LSU's in good position to maybe make the SEC title game against maybe Georgia or Texas?
Well, they are. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But their wins, today was not a shaky win.
No, Arkansas is a good team,
and in Arkansas, well, they're all right. But the rest of LSU's wins have been fairly shaky, and they lost to USC. So I don't know, man. I just don't know what to think of them this year yet. I really don't. And to the corrections 101, JA definitely has this. Or wait, who was it that I asked about? Maybe it wasn't corrections. Maybe that was Cajonas. JA definitely has his starting job back, but today should have proven it. It's not a quarterback issue. It is a details and an execution issue. It is absolutely a coaching issue. It just has to be. It's not a talent issue. If Vanderbilt can go out and look as good as they did against a team like Alabama, win or lose, then there is no excuse, zero excuse. They gave up 9 sacks today. 9 sacks. I don't care how good. Every team we play in the SEC, we're giving them the label of the best defensive front ever. We heard the same thing about Tennessee. Now they're saying it about South Carolina. At the end of the day, these guys are just not. I mean, where's the development, man? Where is the development of the players? I don't see any of that. And Deion Burks is out with a thigh bruise still. Like, man up, dude. Boss up.
All these guys, man, I think they don't want to play because they done got their NIL money.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying online.
Like I was saying earlier, the NIL made for parity. I'm like, it ain't parity what you think. It's not like Wake Forest can buy players. Wake Forest and Vanderbilt can buy players and keep up now. It's the fact that these players are becoming lazy and they get their money and then they lose their edge, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, Power T says, GBO, down goes Bama. You missed it a while ago, man. I sang that song for y'all. I said if Tennessee beat us, I was going to sing Rocky Top. I
heard it. It was a pretty good rendition.
I even put the woo in it.
You did.
I might sing it for you again in a minute. If you want me to sing it for you again, Power T, I will. I don't know if everybody else want to hear that shit again, though.
Where's the other Tennessee fan? What was it, like Big Orange or some shit like that? What's his name?
Something like that. Big douche. I can't remember.
So I got on. I'm not gonna lie. I got on a USC live stream with USCJ. I had to hear it.
Oh, ain't that sweet?
I had to hear it. Did
you console them a little bit, man?
They're so upset. They're so upset. Hell no, I didn't console them. I just wanted to hear them crying about it.
Did you tell them my name for them? I sort of elaborated on the J. USCJ for jackass.
Yeah, I feel bad for them, man. They're all coming to the realization that Riley's not it.
I really don't feel bad for none of them, man, because they acted so idiotic about it, man. They thought I was trolling. Oh, you're just saying it because you're an Oklahoma fan. Wrong answer. I'm an Alabama fan. I'm saying it because people don't want to say it. The people in the mass media out there, they don't want to say it because they want to be up Lincoln Riley's ass, and it just ain't working out for them.
Yeah. Well, he's they are exactly what we thought they were. If you look at what his record, dude, in his last like 13 games is like fucking 4-9 or something like that. They're bad, dude. He's they're in every bit of shambles as Oklahoma is. I can promise you that.
So what did you take from Alabama's loss tonight as an outsider looking in?
Well, first of all, I think it just goes to prove once again that when you have a coach like Nick Saban, you can't. I just don't see how you bring in a new guy and not go through some of this stuff. But it's also hard to not, Milroe is definitely a part of it too.
Yeah, I think he's the main problem.
He lost
his edge, man. He lost his edge.
Milroe's definitely he seems to be somewhat of a head case, when he's playing well, when his mind and his confidence are good, then he plays better. But he doesn't seem to have a super strong, tough mental game. And you know how this is, man. This game is hard enough, and now with the season being 13 games long, and with the talent being as good as it is across the board in college, like it's the mental toughness is as important as anything else. And
I think if Alabama had lost to Georgia and Tennessee, I think they wouldn't have a problem with Mr. Vanderbilt loss that's sticking in everybody's craw. Because they struggled with Ball State today. They barely beat Ball State.
Oh, really? I didn't see that actually.
24-14.
Yeah, well, I mean, man, I think that just kind of rocked the foundation of shows you that you're mortal, and then it just makes losing that much easier the next time. But I was surprised. I thought Alabama was going to win. I really did. Josh Heupel needed that win, to be honest with you, to really get them back going. And then it looks like they're back on track. And it also looks like Clemson's going to break into the top 10 now.
I think they already are.
No, well, they are. They're 10th, but I mean they're gonna get into the single digit ranking again, which drives me crazy.
Yeah. I know you like Dabo. That's your favorite coach.
I can't stand Dabo. I hate him with a passion. Iowa State barely hangs on. It was kind of a crazy week, man.
It seems like people are getting beat by teams that you don't expect them to get beat by sometimes. It's like Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois and ain't lost since.
I know. Yeah, they not that they have the toughest schedule in the world, but they and man, you got the service academies in the top 25. Like, this is just crazy as I'm going through the rankings.
Yeah, they said that both of them hadn't been ranked together undefeated since 1960.
Oh, is that right? Has it been that long? I wouldn't have guessed it was that long.
Back in the Roger Staubach area.
I mean, that is crazy, dude. We got BYU, Army, Navy, Illinois, Indiana, freaking Iowa State is in the top 10.
It's like 1984.
What the hell, man?
It's like 1984
It really is.
1984 has came back because that's last year Vanderbilt beat Alabama. It's last year that Tennessee Vanderbilt.
SMU was actually was that the last? Is that did they get the penalty in 83 or did they get it in 84?
It's like 87.
85.
It was like 86 or 87.
Was it that late?
They got the death penalty, I think, in 85 or 86. But yeah, it's like 1984 all over again because you know who won the national title in 1984, right?
BYU.
Exactly. And then look at BYU; they're undefeated.
I mean, man, it's kind of ironic, right, that Oklahoma leaves the Big 12, and you look at the Big 12, they've got a handful of pretty highly ranked teams this year.
A lot of teams that we dislike lost today or this week as well, so it helped us out a little bit. Auburn lost. Oklahoma State lost. Texas lost. USC lost. So, yeah, other than Colorado winning, I had a pretty good week outside of my team shitting the bed again.
Yeah, I heard some USC fans talking about they were just perplexed as to man, I don't understand. We used to be slow starters and we finished strong. Now we're starting strong and we just can't finish. This is so weird. I'm like, it's not weird. That's exactly what Lincoln Riley did every year he was at Oklahoma. Start off fast and then he couldn't finish dick. NIL commish. You know what? You got to give it to the NIL commish. Let me tell you. He's got his own shtick going on. It's fairly original. I can appreciate that. Have you been following NIL Commission's little shorts on YouTube?
Yeah, I had him on as a guest, trying to help him a little bit, and he said it's actually helped him out a lot. So I didn't know rubbing up against me would help him or not. I'm sort of controversial. Some people don't want to be seen with me on the podcast these days.
Well, and be honest, part of the reason why they don't want to be associated with you is because you associate with drugs like me.
I associate with the common folk. Some of these guys get on there and they get a podcast and they suddenly think, "Oh, I'm famous. I don't have to deal with these peons anymore."
That's
kind of
right.
deal.
That's right. But yeah, I thought the I like the NIL commish. I like his gig. David Orwick, if they fired Brent, who in the world would they get to replace him? I don't know, man. They got to go outside the Oklahoma tree, though. It's time to bring in new blood. All these players, ex-players, and OU legacy, Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley and DeMarco and all. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like the only thing that bums me out. I hope they can hold on to Zach Alley, but they probably need to just start over and wipe the whole goddamn thing clean.
What's your email, NIL commission? I can't speak.
Bring the commish on.
I didn't forget your email, man.
Bagman, that's right. Not from Bob Stoops or never. No, first of all, after the Lincoln debacle, you will never see a Texas Tech coach make it back to Oklahoma. That's not happening.
I looked at Oklahoma's history, and it's interesting. Y'all are known for hiring assistants, people that are up and coming that you don't have to pay a lot to bring in.
That's right.
I think that maybe Oklahoma might or step away from that in the next hire if they get rid of Brent Venables. What do you think?
I mean, it can't hurt, man. It can't hurt.
Spend a little money.
We've been very lucky. Barry Switzer, Bob Stoops, Bud Wilkins, all of them were assistants, and they went on to just be legendary coaches. And so, and Lincoln, Lincoln was a fucking assistant. So, yeah, it worked for a long time. But you know how it is, man. No matter what, at some point you're gonna have to shake it up and bring in something new and fresh. I mean, I thought that's what Brent was doing. And I mean, it was fresh in the sense that it was completely different than what Lincoln was doing. That's for sure. But I think they tried to stay too close to the circle of wagon.
You made me drop my lemon juice, man.
Are you hitting that tequila a little too hard?
Yeah, drop my lemon juice, man.
That's my fault or that's your fault?
It's your fault, man. Gotta blame it on somebody. It's more like to have somebody else in here saying blame shit on them.
That's right, cojones, Kelly. Jeff Levy is doing his thing at Moose State. And you know what? OU fans deserve this. Every Oklahoma fan was pissing me off so much. Everybody was calling for Levy to go. Get Levy out of here. Get Levy out of here. All because he fucking didn't cast his father-in-law, and chastise him publicly, I guess is what they wanted. Thanks to Parker Thune and his stupid picture that he posted on Twitter. But everybody was calling for him to go. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of Dylan Gabriel. Put in Jackson Arnold. Put in Jackson Arnold. And the funny thing is, those same damn people that were calling to put in Jackson Arnold were calling for Jackson Arnold to be benched and put in Hawkins. And then we're calling for Jackson Arnold to come back in. Man, at the end of the day, this is what a lot of Oklahoma fans wanted. You wanted Levy out. You wanted Dylan Gabriel out. Well, this is what we got. So, and it was dumb. We had
not trying to change gears on you here, but we're sort of in the same fix you are in a little bit because my guy's fallen a legend, right?
Yeah,
it's always hard to do. So you're already getting people talking shit because of who we lost to, Vanderbilt. That's the main reason why this shit's being talked about. But how many losses do you think that Kalen DeBoer could absorb this year? And
he's in some with another loss now. He's in some. He needs to watch out. He needs to watch out. I don't think
some choppy waters. People point to Nick Saban was 7-6 his first year, but
totally different.
Yeah, Nick Saban took over a team that was 6-7 the previous year. DeBoer took over a team that was a playoff team the year before. So he shouldn't have
beat Georgia. That beat Georgia. It was a playoff team that beat Georgia, who was undefeated at the time. So it was not the same in any way, shape, or form. Alabama was in a bad spot when Nick Saban took over. They were searching for something. And I was doing business with I had a few customers in Alabama at the time, and they were all huge Tide all huge Bama fans, and y'all were hurting at the time.
Yeah, well, Alabama goes, let's say they go 9-3, maybe win a bowl game,
That's
go 10-3, 10-3 maybe.
Yeah, he's not going to get fired over anything.
I don't think he'll get fired, but I'm like, how much patience do you think that these knee jerkers will have? Do you think they'll give him 3 or 4 years?
No way. He doesn't get 4 years.
I mean, does he get 3 or 4 years?
He gets 2 or 3.
I mean, like the playoffs. I mean, since there's 12 teams now, he should at least be in the playoffs every other year, right?
Well, that's what Bama fans are going to demand, regardless of whether it's right or not. Like, that's the problem that y'all got now, because, and it's a good problem to have, mind you, but the expectation of Alabama fans is not just playoff every other year, is title every other year. And if you guys start going 4, 5, 6 years without a title, there's no coach is going to last like that in Alabama.
Yeah,
not a chance.
No cojones Kelly called my man Les Miles. Well, man, he ain't eating grass on the side of the field and shit.
I mean, listen, man, at the end of the day, you got to call it like it is, which is what you do, Outlaw. But, at the end of the day, Kalen DeBoer has a whole lot of success, but none of it was in the SEC.
It wasn't.
And if the SEC stands alone, which we all claim that it does, then it stands to reason that while his success is definitely better than the opposite of that, it don't mean much, compared to what he has to do now. So
I got a private message from somebody. I want to read it out. His name's Johnny Johns. He said, asked me won't be on. He said, yeah, I'm a little more than half drunk, but I'm awake.
Man, I've been that way for like 4 or 5 hours now.
I saw your eyes rolling up in the back of your head just then.
No, I'm fine, man. I had
the Undertaker or some shit.
I have been drinking all day, but I'm fine. Hey, I'll tell you one thing I'm going to say right away. I was wrong about what I said when I come on here last time. I was saying I could, I was talking about like who I could compare Brent Venables to. I was talking about I feel like he's the kind of guy that could win if everything is like perfect around him. Like he could be like a Coach O or Jimbo Fisher or Les Miles. I'm going to say I'm wrong. He is more. I'm going to call him Brent Muschamp. He is more like Will Muschamp. Dude was a really good defensive coordinator and wasn't very good as a head coach. And I'm sick of making excuses for him, dude. If he proves me wrong and he all of a sudden starts winning games, man, then I'll gladly be wrong. But I'm sick of making excuses for all of them, dude. I feel like we got to quit hiring guys that are our buddies. Like, oh man, our buddy Seth Luttrell, our buddy Brent Venables. We need to quit hiring Bob's buddies because none of them are Bob.
Yeah, it's you can't. There's no excuse for this, man. The talent that they have on the field, even it being second and third string, is still just as good as or better than teams that are playing respectable football like Vanderbilt and fucking Army and Navy. You trying to tell me that Oklahoma has less talent than fucking Army? There's no goddamn way.
Right.
So this is all coaching. This, I don't give a shit what any of them have done in the past. I don't care what Bill Bedenbaugh has done in the past. I don't give a shit what DeMarco has done in the past. I don't care. What they have on the field right now is embarrassing, man. I've never been embarrassed like this as an OU. I wasn't embarrassed like this in 1996 and 97 and it wasn't this bad.
Whoa, man, that's John Blake.
He
ain't as bad as John Blake.
Dude, we look like we have players that should be playing in fucking high school right now.
He's bad, man, but I can't go with the John Blake shit.
No, it is worse than John Blake on offense.
Maybe Gary Gibbs.
Dude, they gave up 9 sacks today. 9 sacks to South Carolina at home.
Cajones Kelly makes a good point. He says Jeff Levy, meanwhile, slowly doing his thing at Mississippi State. Mississippi State has been really competitive the last couple of weeks. They're looking a lot better. So
I
really think that people should have pumped the brakes on Jeff Levy. Me and Killer Breeze have been talking about this for a while. That running Jeff Levy out, man, was a big mistake.
Right. They've been a hell of a lot more competitive than we've been the last 2 weeks. That's for sure.
Right, man.
But at least y'all ain't got to play Mississippi State, because if I take a loss to Jeff Levy, that would hurt.
Yeah.
The thing that sucks is he's clearly still a good defensive coach because he has turned his defense around. The defense is good. They're suffering right now because of the offense. But so it's not that he's totally sucks as a coach. It's just he can't manage the whole program clearly. They made so let's just go down the line. So first of all, I've seen no progress in any of the develop. They clearly cannot develop quarterbacks. No progress in Jackson Arnold, really. He looks the same to me as he did as his freshman year.
Right.
So there's no development. The tight end room, who by the way is led by a former fucking tight end at Oklahoma, is the worst I've ever seen. They can't block. They can barely catch and run. They insist on playing the same 2 guys that, so there's no progress with anyone else. So the offensive line is, damn, man. Like, I've never seen anything like this in Oklahoma, ever. They gave up 9 sacks today. We made South Carolina look like the Baltimore Ravens in 2009. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I didn't get to see the first quarter, and I heard y'all had a lot of turnovers. And
dude, they were down 21-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. 5 minutes. They gave up 3 turnovers in 9 snaps.
Exactly. So it's sort of misleading that they beat y'all that bad, right?
Well, conservative as hell in the offense. I mean, we can't move the ball. I mean, I'm sorry. I just never seen anything like this in my life from Oklahoma ever. I've never seen it.
Bagman agrees with your assessment of Brent Muschamp. He said that's 100% accurate. He also followed it up with Bagman says Brent is a good motivational speaker and defense coordinator, not a good coach. That's just like Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp's real fiery, man. Veins be coursing through his damn neck, and he look like he's going to kill an official running off the field and shit. But it just doesn't translate for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, they still.
It is.
Oh man, I'm so like I don't know how you fix this. Like I don't think it can be fixed without just sweeping changes. I don't know, man. And now you really have to be concerned. Now this is when you do start losing recruits. This is when you do lose recruiting classes. This is when the Fasusis and the Fogies they go. They're not coming to be a part of that. You know, this is when Jaden Jackson hits the transfer portal. David Stone hits the transfer, but you got to worry about that now.
Oh yeah, it's a real that's a real yeah. It's one thing going on a neutral site and losing to the number one team and getting smoked by a number one team, but losing to a 3-3 South Carolina team, getting smoked by them at home on your own team, it's a whole nother level, dude. And then the way, just from the get-go, dude, it's clearly a team that's just, it's sloppy. It's the effort ain't there. There's nothing about it that I can like cherry pick from and say that like, oh, well, here's the positives. There's no positives really. I mean, there was the one big Jackson Arnold had down the field during garbage time. I mean, the game was already South Carolina knew they were going to win. It was already well in hand for them. But I kept saying, like, dude, can we not accidentally get a first down? Can we not accidentally score once? Can we, like, it is incredible.
That's what happened today is we accidentally scored.
Yes. Like, I'm
let
like,
me ask y'all a little something that was weird to me. They said Shane Beamer used to be an assistant coach there in Oklahoma and that he raised his kids there.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, at the end of the half, man, he went for two when there wasn't really any reason to go for two.
Not only that, he went in for a fake field goal.
And then a fake field goal. I'm thinking to myself, and this dude's got an axe to grind, don't he? Maybe he's a little pissed off that Oklahoma didn't consider him for the job.
I don't know. That surprised me that he did that today. That did. I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, it's just like Josh. Josh seemed like he had a little axe to grind too, from the comments he made.
Well, we knew that. I mean, he did.
But he didn't do what Beamer did.
But
Beamer was like trying to embarrass y'all to say it in the second quarter. I'm like, what the hell's this shit?
No, he didn't do that. That was that was harsh. I mean, he definitely, he probably didn't win himself any.
But he did back off in the second half, I guess, because he only scored 3 points, right?
Yeah, but he probably did that more out of self-preservation and keeping the win, not doing anything dumb to lose the win. At that point, the game was really over.
Right.
Well, you knew y'all couldn't score. So
yeah, we can't score. So,
After the first 5 minutes, I had to work today, man, and I had to watch the first, most of the first half. I got off work, right before halftime. And after the first 5 minutes, after the first turnover, and then the second turnover, and then the third turnover, and we spotted them 21 points within the first 5 minutes, I said, dude, that's it. That's all they need.
Oh,
They
yeah.
need to score another fucking point. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, they can literally just 1, 2, 3 punt the rest of the game, and their defense may get another touchdown or two, and that's all they need. We're done. We're done now. Like, there's no way this offense is. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you guys about this. Honestly, I really can't. Dude. Like this.
No, it's
bad.
all those things that people were saying about, Oklahoma couldn't be the next Nebraska. Like now, all of a sudden, that's real.
It's reality. Yeah.
That's real.
all of a sudden that's not crazy talk, dude. Like now that's something that
It doesn't mean, you know, the reality is because of the brand and the history, it doesn't mean that they can't be back one day. Like they will probably be back at some point, but all of a sudden now having a 5 or 10 year run of just nothing is very possible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it might be ugly for a while. Ugly, man.
John Richie's got a comment for Johnny Johns. He says it's not a lot to ask to accidentally get a first down every now and then.
I know, man. Literally, it's like, dude, can we not accidentally get a first down once in a while? And then I remember there was like a penalty on the defense, and I was on the phone with my dad, and automatic first down. I said, hey, at least we got a first down. That might be the only one we get rest of the day. But yeah, this is horrible, dude. It's bad, man. And you know, you were talking about well, I've seen high school teams that's got, you know, that are more organized than this offense. I mean, if you go watch Carl Albert, I swear to God, dude, their offenses and the scheme that they're running and just how organized it is way better than what we're doing. Like there are high school teams, not in Texas, but here in Oklahoma that look more, they look the part a lot more than this offense. This is just pitiful, dude. It is horrible, man.
It's not good.
Right guy 1218 now. He's an Oregon guy, and the reason why I bring this comment up is, y'all think Oregon is going to get bit by the number one curse? Because it looks like Oregon's going to be the number one team after this week, and it seems like everybody gets number one gets beat.
Right. Except when we played number one. I even said that, well, this will be the one time it don't happen because we played number one last week.
I'm not sure. I don't have Oregon's schedule in front of me, but I mean, they did beat Ohio State. I don't know how tough their schedule is the rest of the season. They did struggle with Idaho at the beginning of the year. So I just think it's going to be a crazy year, man. We already had a bunch of upsets already. I think you might even have teams get in with 3 losses in the playoff, maybe.
So, so what does the NIL commish think of the situation in Norman?
I'm going to talk very briefly to see if I'm lagging. And if I'm lagging, I'll be right back.
Yeah, you lagging.
Well, we can hear you. We just can't
hear you, though.
Oh, so you just see like random images, but you can hear me?
Yeah. You're moving like really fast. You look like the Chipmunks or some shit.
Oh, maybe it's catching back up. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be.
It looks weird on my end, but what are you guys talking about? Sorry, I'm sitting here trying to figure out this computer stuff. I'm not even listening.
That's because you're a weirdo.
You still look more organized than the Oklahoma offense, so it'll be okay.
Oh God. Oh God.
It is more organized.
Hey, man.
I don't really have to say much. You guys have already said it all. I mean,
what's up with that porn stash on one of your caricatures there?
You like that? Oh yeah, that's everybody's favorite one. I was scared. I was scared to do that character.
You look like Ron Jeremy.
People like it. So
you kin to Ron Jeremy? Well, you got Ron Jeremy with a stash.
He definitely the stash and the stash is one of my favorite parts, man.
It's got you froze, man. It's like you got your mouth open and ready to have something stuck in it.
I think it looks like the
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't
You probably
care
hear me
about
better
it. You
while
can't see me
you're
then.
talking.
Something happened. I just lost my video feed.
We can still hear you. Hey, you're about 5 inches short of Ron Jeremy, but we can still hear you.
The government.
Ouch.
The government
Ouch.
did it.
5 inches.
Trying to hold us down. Speaking the truth.
I need more alcohol to keep up with you guys.
Right. So what's your opinion on today, man?
Well, it sucks as an OU fan, but then it got a little bit better throughout the day because we got to see some teams lose.
Right.
Other than that, it sucks, man. I mean, I was on the I'm going to stand up for Brent Venables train, but after today, all of a sudden, I'm questioning that train now. It's one of those things of you hired him, so you got to fire him now.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't fire him, then you're on the hot seat.
Well, that picture right there is gonna make me sleep well tonight.
There you go. That's what I'm
Where
saying.
do I find that wig?
I've been getting these pictures all day, man. I told everybody send me all the pictures of the Texas fans because when I was watching the game, they kept flashing to them. And I'm like, damn, man, they look like a bunch of spastics, man. I ain't never seen this many spastics in one state.
See, you got to understand, all these little young fans, they don't know Texas like we know Texas. So they are in this bubble where they think Texas being in the top of college football is a normal thing, and it's not. And they just found out exactly what happens when Texas thinks that they're on top of the world. And by the way, you can say whatever you want tonight about UT because you will not see one of those pussy-ass Longhorn fans in the chat section tonight. I know that for a fact.
Right. Have you seen that video where the guy's at the Cotton Bowl and he's asking Texas fans, hey, man, you're a Texas fan. And he's asking, so who's your favorite players? And it's amazing how many of them can't even name like even one player. I mean, some of them will say, oh, Quinn Ewers or, oh, I like the Manning guy. Or, you know, and there's a bunch of them. And I'm like, is this fake? And then I start watching, dude, this is real. And I have a cousin that lives in Dallas. And he goes to OU Texas and stuff. And he was like, man, most of these Texas fans out here, they'll check up on the score. But he's like, dude, I can name more of their players on their team than they can. And it's incredible how many of them, they're just kind of, we're Texas because we live in Texas. And, you know, when they're good, they show up. And when they're not, they don't. But, yeah, it's hilarious. The look on this guy's face right here, man, this is classic.
I need that wig. I need that wig.
What kind of hairdo is that, man? What would y'all call that? Give one
That's
word.
Called a bouffon. That's a bouffon.
Right.
What are you thinking now, Kamish?
I'm just over here like I'm just looking at the picture, smiling like I need that wig.
I definitely need that shit. Look at this shit right here.
That's a
Colin
good one.
Kelly knows what I'm talking about. Tell him, Colin Kelly, that's a bouffon. You know what I'm talking about.
It's like damn Cajun talk. I don't know what y'all talking about, man.
He knows what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. All you need to know is just look at it. That's what it is.
Well, that doesn't work. I got a camera going.
Hell. I mean, is that? Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
How about that?
She's in the house.
Coney Kelly said he sent me some more pictures, so I'm gonna go get those pictures while y'all take apart whoever y'all gonna take apart.
Well, there's so many to choose from. I mean, I don't think we can talk bad about Lincoln Riley enough. You know, that never gets old for me. And I mean, losing to Maryland, dude. Come on, man. I mean, losing to Maryland. I mean, wasn't he up by 14 in the fourth? Wasn't it 28-14 in the fourth quarter? And they somehow gave up 15, lost 29-28 in the last seconds of the game.
It's classic Riley right there, man. And
horrible clock management. He did once again, horrible clock management, let the whole lot of time fall off the clock that shouldn't have fallen off.
Right. You know, last time I was on here, me and Outlaw was talking about how he brought up a thing where he said, dude, did he screw you guys over, but did he also screw over himself?
He did.
And I'm like, yes, he did. Like, there's no doubt about it, dude. I feel like it's he didn't just screw us over. I think he screwed himself too. He has totally fallen off as well. I mean, the dude was 55-10, I think, in the first 5 years. And now, did you know his record? They showed his record next to Clay Helton, the guy that they talk all shit about. Yes, by 2 or 3 games, it's worse.
He's 4-9 in his last 13.
Right. It's incredible, man. He has fallen off. And, dude, I've had a lot of SEC fans tell me, like, you know, there's little arguments going on, you know, especially in the like right before the season started. And they're like, I'm not scared of this version of Oklahoma. And they said, you know, if it was Oklahoma from like a few years ago, yeah, we might be kind of scared of you. And I'm thinking, damn, man, really? Well, the fact of the matter is, I don't think anybody's scared of Oklahoma unless it was a few years ago, but also it's the same way with Lincoln Riley. I feel like he had his best days with us, and we had some really good days with him also. I think he screwed this whole thing up, man. But
100%.
The ironic thing is, if we had Lincoln as our OC and Brent as our defensive coordinator, we'd probably be in pretty good shape.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all could at least probably outscore people.
Now we'd probably win championships again, man, because the defense would be good.
Probably with the SEC, he got so damn up in his feelings and his panties because he felt like he wasn't consulted enough about joining the SEC, and that's why he left.
Yeah,
and he fractured himself. He fractured himself, and he fractured Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he definitely has to sit at home at night when everything's dark and the voices come in his head at night. He's got to be second guessing everything he did, man, because now he just looks like a dumbass.
Yep.
You know, whether he's got money or not, he's got no credibility anymore. I mean, Paul Feinbaum just crucifies the guy every chance he gets.
Yeah, Paul Feinbaum used to be right up his ass, though.
He was.
Just like old Colin Cowturd or whatever.
By the way, we got a hedge pisser in the house. Hedge pisser in the house. Dogs will not be denied.
But
hey, they were a couple weeks ago, though.
But y'all
their defense looks good.
Even though Alabama's lost to Vanderbilt and Tennessee, y'all still got an Alabama problem. So
yeah, they do. They do.
I agree with the NIL commish. Their defense looked pretty damn good tonight. I mean, they looked better tonight than they have all year. I mean,
they looked dominant.
Yeah, they did.
Absolutely. No, they did. They looked, and they looked like the same Georgia team that we've seen in the last few years. And dude, the last few years, Georgia has looked like if you asked me to pick like who's been the best team the last 3 years, I would have to pick Georgia. And the problem is they can beat everybody except Alabama.
Yep. Yeah. I hate saying this, but Georgia was the best team last year too.
Yes.
Yeah, they were.
I do too. Yes, I agree with that. And Alabama, they just got an Alabama problem, and Alabama screwed them over last year from making it in.
That makes me happy.
So I guess Ducati 1098 that should say dogs will not be denied unless they're in Tuscaloosa.
That's right.
Or unless they play Alabama in the SEC title game, because they could never beat us in the SEC title game.
Atlanta. Yeah, Tuscaloosa or Atlanta.
Yeah.
They better hope that Alabama loses another game and they don't have to play them in the conference championship game.
They'll probably get your wish on that.
Hey, by the way, I love seeing Sark lose too.
Look, these last two pictures I put up are from Big Cojones Kelly. I don't know why he's calling himself No Cojones. I guess he got deballed at some point, but
probably for that OU game today, he got deballed.
Look at his face, man.
What do you guys think about that pass interference call and then a bunch of bottles thrown on the field, and then 5 minutes later the refs are like, "Hey guys, let's talk about this call."
I know
that's a non-reviewable play,
right? And they changed it.
Are you trying to make it so you keep your viewers around, or Vegas gets close? I mean, I hate that crap.
Yeah, it was pretty.
They probably thought the Texas people are going to be like soccer fans or some shit and just riot up in that bitch.
I think that was for everyone's safety.
Probably, yeah. Good point.
That was pretty weak.
Hey, does Steve Sarkisian not look like Pee Wee Herman? His freaking hair, man, looks just like Pee Wee Herman, all grown up and shit.
Yeah, that's a hell of a comp for sure.
I kind of like Sark. I hate to say it, but I love watching him lose.
Oh yeah, no, that was great.
He's a great coach.
But hey, you bringing up the whole deal with them throwing the shit on the field and stuff, dude. That was a wild moment, man. And me and like all of us that were watching it, me and my brothers and all of our friends, there was a decent amount of us that was watching it, and we were like, "Oh, whoa!" It was the most exciting part of the game. We were like, "What the fuck? They're throwing stuff on the field," and my younger brother and his friends, they were smoking a blunt on the porch, and they opened the deal and come running back in to see what we were all hollering about. And they're like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Dude, they just had a shitty call, and now Texas fans are throwing bottles on the damn field, a bunch of them. I mean, it was like snowing bottles."
It's like the UTs have a lot in common, because Tennessee's the same fucking way, man. They'll start throwing shit just like they did at Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. They threw golf balls and mustard bottles. Who brings a golf ball to the game if they don't have an intention of throwing it?
Oh, right? I know. Yeah, I wouldn't be throwing no golf balls, man. You can get somebody hurt. But then Sark goes out there and he's like, calm down, calm down, calm down. Sark goes out there and tries to like calm them down. And then all of a sudden yeah, that actually was a shitty call. And they picked up the flag. And Texas.
They're not really allowed to do that. And that's just like Fred Begley said, the officiating is as bad as I've ever seen, not just against my team, every team. It just all looks bad.
Yes, and dude, I'll tell you what, dude. I hate bringing it up with officiating. I hate using it as an excuse. But in close games, they do make a difference. And the Alabama-Tennessee game was a close game, and there was shitty call after shitty call after shitty call. And I'm the last guy that will bring that up. I hate bringing it up.
You see how far offsides that guy was?
Yeah.
The announcers even brought it up. I didn't bring it up. They brought it up.
The whole country, millions of people are watching this game, and we all see this guy jump off sides, and it's just a nothing. It's just a oops. Oh, well. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
Pretty weak.
It was weak. It definitely felt like, oh man, if I was an Alabama fan, I would definitely be pretty upset about that, dude. Now, here's the deal, guys. I bet on Alabama, and they were the last team I needed to win my parlay card. So you can imagine how pissed I was. And my wife's like, "What are you doing? I thought OU already played." I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm rooting for Alabama now because I got money on them. And this is the last team I need to win. And I just needed them to win by more than 3 points. And I got Tennessee player clearly offsides. I mean, plain as day, he's off. It's not even. They said, "Oh, it's close." Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't close. He was offsides.
Well,
and
they call a pass interference on a ticky tack, and then you got Ryan Williams over here being held.
Yes.
You see his speed all of a sudden just stop.
Yep.
It comes to a call.
Jersey.
And then about 2 or 3 series later, they call a pass interference on Alabama for something that wasn't as bad. It's just inconsistent. What I got problems with.
Yeah. I hate using officials as an excuse, but Alabama, they did them dirty today, dude. They definitely did them dirty.
They did us in Knoxville all the time.
Oh, we got the mustache in the house.
Well, I was feeling a little out of place. You guys all got mustaches.
I need to find some porn. Need to find some porn music so I can get demonetized.
Yeah. It's my Tom Selleck.
Hell yeah. I used to love Magnum P.I. when he'd have that girl in the ocean and her ass be in his face.
Oh yeah. I want a Ferrari. I want that old style Ferrari.
Hell yeah, man.
Magnum P.I. was a man.
Hell yes. So man, do we think so with all these crazy losses, do we think we see any heads roll this week?
Heads roll as far as who?
Any coaching changes?
No.
I think there's some people on the hot seat.
I don't know, man. I don't know how many more losses Oklahoma can have like this year, and I mean, you're gonna lose the fan base, dude, if you don't do something.
I think that's pretty much already gone. If you look at the message boards, that would be the fan base.
Yeah, they're pissed.
Yeah, but those are psycho fans.
If Brent Venables loses out and he goes 5-7, do they fire him?
I don't know, man. I think the injuries are probably going to buy him one more year, but if he just loses out and just does, I mean, because
I'm not talking about Maine. Maine don't count.
I know, but again, it's not just the losses; it's the way they look in these losses. I mean, that's the problem.
They look really lethargic, don't they?
They look horrible, dude.
Brent Venables has 2 all-time records at Oklahoma, and they're not the kind of records you want to have.
You do not want them.
Exactly.
You do not want them. I mean, man, they've scored until that garbage touchdown that Jackson Arnold threw. They've got 6 points in the last 2 games.
Right.
6 points. I mean,
I don't think the OC, the offensive coordinator, is a scapegoat. I think he is the problem.
He's a big problem.
He's saying that he will be the scapegoat.
Oh, well,
he'll get fired. He'll probably get fired this year to save Brent Venables' job.
Well,
they gotta fire him. They have to.
He may be the one they fire first, and maybe that they're like, dude, we're going to give him one more year. He has done great things with the defense, and we believe in the guy. We love him. We're gonna keep him for one more year. But here's what I say: if you can get a guy like the coach from like Indiana, and you can get like someone who's a guaranteed, like, man, I love this hire. We can get this guy right now. Then you have to let Brent Venables go, and you got to make it. If there's another guy that is available and we can for sure get him, and it's a good deal, and it's a great hire, I feel like you have to pull the trigger on it. But if it's like one of them things where it's like, well, who else are you going to get? And you go looking at who's available, and there just ain't anybody that's any better, then you go ahead and you keep him. But I wouldn't like pass on somebody like, for example, I know Matt Rule got his ass kicked today, but like say Matt Rule would have been leaving Carolina Panthers like after this year. And you're like, dude, Matt Rule's coming back into college football. Would you pass on that and then keep Brent Venables? Like, or say like, I know it would never happen. Like say Nick Saban or Urban Meyer or somebody, something crazy. Like they're itching to get back into the game, like a big name. And they're saying, dude, we want to get back into the game. We want to come to a program with a lot of tradition and huge fan base. I don't think you keep Brent Venables for one more year and pass on somebody who could be good. And so if there's better options, I feel like maybe they'll pull the trigger on it. And if there's not, then they'll give him one more year. But it's that conversation's definitely being had right now. Joe C ain't no idiot. He knows football. He knows what's going on. He knows this is not acceptable.
Usually Oklahoma hires assistants. That's what I was telling Killer. I mean, y'all think y'all finally pony up and go after a guy that's got head coaching experience for a change?
Yes. I would love to see them finally do that, because you are right. We never go out like Alabama. They at least went out and got Kalen DeBoer, who was the best available head coach that you could get at that point in time. Like the dude had proved that he could get a team to the playoffs and win a playoff game. At least he had proved that, and he beat Sark, he beat Lincoln, beat Dan Lanning, he's beat Kirby Smart. And so at least this was a guy that was a good ass hire. If it works out, it works out. If it don't, that's part of life. But it was a good hire for Alabama. And with Oklahoma, we didn't even do that. We just, our buddy Brent Venables, we like him. He won 3 natties and then lost 5. He had been to 8 national championships. He had won 3 as a defensive coordinator. And we hire him because he's our buddy. We hire Seth Luttrell because he's our buddy. And I just feel like Killer Breeze, last time I was on here, you had said something about, man, I think we need to completely go away from, the tree and everything that we've been trying to do. We need to just totally go get the best guy, not Bob Stoops' best buddy or the best, this guy runs a system that's similar to what we, like with Lincoln Riley and Mike Leach Tree and all that. Because it's almost like in 99, we got Bob Stoops, and then we hired Mike Leach to bring in the offense. And I know he was only there for 1 year, but we continued to run spread offense for a long time. And it's almost like we think that's our blueprint that we have to do. And it worked great 25 fucking years ago in 99 and 2000 and 01, but that blueprint maybe don't work good today in 2024. And we need to just maybe start over and go get somebody that has nothing to do with Bob Stoops. He's not a former coordinator of Bob. Go get the guy, not Bob's best buddy.
Well, I was listening to the OU broadcast for the game, and they brought Bob Stoops into the booth, and he literally said, "I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say." Now, that just shows you. That just tells you everything you need to know.
Yep,
and it's that bad. So, again, I just don't know how you. I don't the stink that's on this now, man. You gotta make some drastic moves, man. You just gotta make some drastic moves, and I just don't. I mean, I don't know who you get to replace him. So I mean, again, I don't know that it's gonna be a good thing, but dude, Seth has just, and it sucks, man, because I like Seth. I mean, Seth was on a national championship team. Who doesn't want Seth to be successful? But God damn, dude, they look terrible, and the play calling is still suspect at best. Like they still don't really have an identity. It's crazy to me that they don't have any. Like, what is their bread and butter play? What is it? What is the foundation of the offense that upon which everything else gets built? What is that? I still don't know. I still have no idea.
To hear I didn't listen to the radio broadcast, but to hear you say that, I'm going to elaborate further just in case anybody ain't understanding exactly what you're saying. Bob Stoops, and this is the same guy that just a couple days ago went on the radio. And he said, guys, give them a chance. I believe in Brent Venables. I believe in Seth Beckrell. He said they're dealing with a lot of injuries. There's two quarterbacks that are young, inexperienced. And he's like, man, I don't like to make excuses. He said, but they're dealing with a lot right now. And he basically said, I believe in them. And to hear him that he got on the radio and said what you just said, it literally just goes to show where we're at right now, man. Fucking bad.
And again, man, like the injuries. I mean, I get it. The losing your top 5 wide receivers is unbelievable. Again, I'm gonna say Deion Burks, boss up, dude. You got a thigh bruise. Boo fucking who? Get your ass on the field. You're getting all that NIL money. Strap it on, motherfucker. Get on the field and go to work.
Right.
But you lost your top 5 receivers. I get it. You still got 4-star receivers that are a little young. You can't coach those dudes up. I mean, these guys, look, 4-star freshman players still play well a lot of the time. They just make small errors here and there because of their inexperience. That's not what we have going on. We have players that look inept. They don't ever look like they can play. Zion Raggins, I'm still wondering why do we even have him on the team? I heard about all this blazing speed. What good is it if the dude can't get open? He's 5 foot nothing. He gets covered up every single time he's on the field. Like, we made some horrible decisions in assessing talent. All of the portal additions we made on the O-line, terrible. Terrible.
Right.
It just seems like we've made some bad, and here's the other thing too. It's not like Brent Venables hasn't had good recruiting classes. Dude, he's had 3 top 10 recruiting classes. One of them was top 5. Why are we this bad, man?
Jimmy Johns was saying that if someone, one of these good coaches got the itch to come back like Saban or Urban Meyer, made me think, what about Bob Stoops? What if Bob Stoops decided he want to come back? Would y'all be down with Bob Stoops coming back as head coach?
No. Love Bob Stoops. He's a legend, but no.
Yeah. I feel the exact same way. I don't
like Bob Stoops no more?
I love Bob Stoops. He's my favorite coach of all time.
Sounds like you don't like him.
No, it's past his prime. He can't do it anymore.
He was 61 years old.
He'll tell you himself he can't do it anymore.
He was 61, man.
No, man.
How's he past his prime?
When he got there, he was fiery, running up and down lines just like Brent Venables. In his final 6 years, he was just kind of – he was there.
I agree. Yeah, he was there long enough. We need – I mean, again, I think – here's the thing. In my opinion, the only chance Brent has, he needs to clean house on the offensive side, hope he brings in a good staff to replace him, keep improving that defense, somehow keep this recruiting class together with Fasusi and Foji. You know, if you can do those things, and by the way, none of that's going to be easy, then Brent Venables might survive. But if he can't do that, then they need to clean house and bring in, you know, start over, you know, and
Bagman.
That's not going to help.
Bagman says you can't stay here if you continue to get humiliated by Texas and mid teams like South Carolina.
That's it.
That Oklahoma can't stay in the SEC.
Well, they're not going anywhere. They're in the SEC now. But the problem is, do you want to become the laughing stock of the SEC year after year? Because that's what it's going to be, man. Every year that Oklahoma's bad in the SEC, you will hear nothing other than, ha, 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 how's it feel to be in the SEC? That's all.
Yeah, you're the new Nebraska.
SEC has brought too many football powers in together, man. Somebody's got to lose. Yeah. Somebody's got to lose now. So, you know, you might have a bunch of teams with 2 and 3 losses, and everybody's going to be pissed off. That's why they need to start expanding out to basketball schools instead of bringing all these football powers in.
I agree. I totally agree. So,
hey, guys, think of it this way. We joined the SEC, and we were all excited about it. Now we have the 12-team playoff. Would you rather go back to the Big 12 and have a better chance of getting in that 12-team playoff? Because there's gonna be an SEC team that we all know should go into the 12-team playoff that's not going to get in. Because they're going to give it to some other conference that doesn't deserve it.
That's right.
The problem is, man, is that that's the formula that they were using, and it wasn't working. The problem
but it was 4 teams at first.
I understand.
And then as soon as we said we're going, they're like, we're going to do 12 teams. We're like, oh wait, hey, we want to come back.
But my point is, now I'm not talking about getting in. I'm talking about how we do once we got in. Like,
we're in there. You're right.
Oh yeah, we needed to come out blazing. Now we're hurting.
Steve Lees has a question for
all of us.
Steve Lees is an FBI agent. Everybody be careful what they say.
All right. Steve Lees says, how do all these armchair quarterbacks think they know what the hell they're frothing at the mouth about? He's not really happy with y'all.
Wait, first of all, is he calling me an armchair quarterback? Let me tell you something, you narc. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong, Steve. And don't correct my vocabulary while you do it. I don't need a grammar lesson.
How in the blue hell do you install a new offense in the middle of the season or fire an OC and expect something?
That's why I said I don't know what you replace it with, you dumbass. That's what I was saying.
And for starters, did any of us say we should fire them today and then not have one the rest of the season? I don't think any of us have said that. We're when the season's over, you know, hiring somebody else, but it's not like we're saying firing right now. And to be honest with you, I don't think Bill Belichick or Nick Saban could help this team right now. I think they're screwed. I think the damage is already done. What happened is they recruited offensive linemen. They clearly thought these guys were going to be a lot better than what they are. I don't think they thought that this offensive line would be this bad. And then the firepower we had on the outside with our 5 best wide receivers, they're all hurt. And then experienced quarterback. Well, we don't have one. And Dylan Gabriel's gone. So, yeah, I don't think any of us said, hey, let's fire him right now because we could find something so much better. I think the damage is already done. We're going to probably win 5 games. And if we can get lucky and accidentally win another game, we might win 6.
I think Steve Lees is just a little naive, man, because Killer Breeze knows the history of Steve Lees. He made a $150 bet with me that Oklahoma wouldn't lose more than 1 game, and they've already lost more than 1 game. I don't expect you to pay that debt, man. Oof. So, you know, you ain't got to be pissed off. You ain't got to be wetting your diaper. He says, oh, hell no, BV won't be gone for at least 3 more years. I don't agree with that.
No
I don't think he's going to get 3 more years if he keeps doing this shit. If he keeps doing this shit, he'll be gone after next year.
That's right.
Is this the same guy that just had the last comment too about armchair quarterback?
That's right.
Okay, so hang on. But this guy right here really knows his shit, though. BB's going to be here 3 more years. Dude, I'm telling you right now, you really know what you're talking about, bud. You are so much smarter than all of us, bro. There's nothing I can tell you. You are way smarter than we are, dude. 3 more years. Wow. 3 more years. Okay.
What do you got to say about that? What do you got to say about that NL commission?
You correcto, dumbass. You didn't have the balls to take that bet. I really don't have much to say on.
I would go bet against Oklahoma, man. I like Oklahoma.
I tend to let people like that troll and just let them troll. I've told you this. If I get a negative comment, I dig it and I like it.
Well, we don't let them get away with that shit. We troll them back.
Well, that's what my philosophy is I'll sit back and let my viewers come and argue for me.
What do you got to Steve Lee saying that?
I think he's a cop. I don't trust him.
Is that the guy that was in your last stream? That was I wasn't in your stream, but something about him being a cop and he was driving and texting and
yeah, he said he was going. He said he knew where I lived and all that other shit.
That's the same guy. He's not a cop.
He's a narc. No, I can smell it, man. I can smell it.
Yeah, he said, correcto, dumbass, you didn't have the balls to take that bet. I didn't take that bet because I didn't want to take your money.
Steve gets so aggressive.
I didn't want to take your money, man. I mean, you probably have to use your EBT card at that point.
Look at how aggressive he gets with the chicken shit. Jesus.
Hey, man. Hey,
who's the chicken shit? Now, wait a minute. You guys kill a breeze. I invited him on this show. Did I not?
Well, you kind of had to. He is long.
You did.
Who's the chicken shit here, man? I invited you to come on here. So, hey, come on over here. Anytime you want, bro.
Steve, do you like donuts?
You like the donut holes because,
man, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy haters. I enjoy guys just like him just as much as the people that donate money. You're going to have people that root for you, people that root against you, and they hate you. And the thing is, you got to be motivated by both your haters and your lovers.
I like it, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah. First of all, it's all fun and games. I mean, at the end of the day, none of this is important. But I'll tell you this. You know what I just thought of? To Johnny's point, man, or just made me think of this. Didn't Daniel Bitzer start showing his face after USC started off the season with that impressive win over LSU? And now we hadn't seen old Danny Bitzer's ass ever since.
Where'd he go, man? Where'd he go?
I will never forget Daniel Bitzer. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
I stalked that guy, man, for a while. I tried to find him every chance I could. I'd go into USC videos and USC live streams looking for him. Every once in a while, I would find him, and it didn't go well.
He said, if I'll pay his hourly wage, he'll come on. You got to pay me in advance.
Oh, you make a lot of money too now, huh?
You're supposed to make these days.
You ain't at work right now, are you? I mean, we're not at work right now. We're all on here. Why can't you be on here? I mean, you might not be as good looking as us, but it'll be okay, man. I invite ugly people on here too, man. You come on here, even if you ugly, man.
I'm gonna guess he's not good looking because there ain't no way he's smarter than us, makes more money than us, and more good looking than us.
Oh man,
no.
Ass whooping pussy took, man.
But girls do love a man in uniform, don't they, Steve?
Hey, Steve, you got any of those cop glasses there? Can I get some of those cop glasses, Steve?
Can we get a donut, Steve?
Yeah.
I get some of these time Deion Sanders glasses.
Oh, my mustache is a little off. Hang on a second here. Oh, there we go.
No, it's got to be crooked. That's part of
Oh, there we go. Yeah, crooked is good.
Yeah.
I need some more double-sided tape.
That's not what your mama and your wife told me the other night.
Most people have.
Of course, I really couldn't understand what they're saying.
he's got a nickname for you.
He said, I wish you would come on here so that way we could actually see, like, because I got to know, bro, are you better looking, rich, and smarter than us? I'm guessing you're not better looking than us, or you'd be on here right now.
Steve, these guys mean you no harm. Come on.
Yeah.
No. We love you.
We've had ugly people on here before. We had Cuz on here. He's ugly as hell.
They got me on here, dude.
Actually, Cuz ain't ugly either. My bad. He's bald headed like me, so he's sexy.
Is the Steve guy? You are an OU fan. Is he an OU fan?
He is, or he claims to be. He might be Okie Pokey State fan. I don't know.
Oh man, he's one of
them guys that roots for Oklahoma State when they're good, and then when they're not, he roots for Oklahoma. He probably even rooted for Tulsa at the time.
That's funny, man.
He's probably a Kansas fan last year when they beat y'all.
Right. So basically, from what I'm understanding from this guy, and he's a hell of a lot smarter than I am, he wants to keep Brent Venables for 3 or 4 years, and Seth Luttrell is the answer. He's cool. You're good with that. We don't have to fire him either. So basically, we just keep things the way they are, and we're golden, Steve. Right? I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me. But that's pretty much what you're saying is we're good. Go ahead and just let that roll.
4 and 3 is what Oklahoma strives to be, right?
Right. Exactly, and ranked 100 and plus on every offensive statistic out there. I mean, passing, rushing, points per game, giving up. Like, oh, no, that ain't him. Damn, I was hoping that was him.
Killer Breeze, Johnny Ritchie asked you a question.
I answered him.
My bad. Sorry. No, I keep hearing Steve Lee's all the time.
Steve Lee, he's famous now. We made him famous. We give him his 15 minutes of fame, man. We're like, Billy Gunn.
He's a Sooner fan. I guess there's a small spot in my heart for the guy.
The MVP. By the way, just something funny for you. The Marshmallow is getting his ass kicked right now in the chat section of another show. It's so funny, man.
Oh, really?
I stumbled onto it by accident. Anyway, huh?
He actually had the balls to fight somebody. What did you say?
Well, no, it's not really going like that. But he's getting hammered.
Who's hammering this?
That is exactly who the MVP was. Certainly on offense, was the freshman walk-on. A freshman walk-on. That's who was the most reliable player on offense. But the thing is, the O-line just seems to be getting worse. I mean, there's just problems all over the place. But man, the O-line, they were horrible today. I mean, yep. Spencer Brown was back on the field today.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand, man. If Beatonbow is as good as as he is, what is going on? Or is it possible maybe Beatonbow isn't that great? I mean, you can look at a lot of yes. Does he have players in the NFL? Yeah, but look at players like Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton never played like a first-round offensive lineman when he was for us. He showed flashes of greatness, but he was never consistent. So he kind of made it on potential and the legacy of what Beatonbow has in the NFL right now. But you look at some of these, a lot of his players, a lot of those. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know why we're still having to go to the portal as deep as we have to go every year. I just don't understand, and I don't understand why we struggle to recruit great offensive linemen. I mean, it seems like we have been the last few years. Right. Except for this year, we finally got a couple of really good ones this year.
Yeah.
Well, they're making it harder to find new ones for the future.
So. They are. And as 5-star players go, do any of them bust more than an offensive lineman? Like, I feel like,
yeah,
5-star offensive linemen bust all the time. So who knows if they're even as good as we think. But at least we have a couple of really highly rated guys this year, because it seems like we haven't had a lot of that the last couple of years.
Who was that? Waylon? Well, I don't remember his first name. He walked on at OU, and he was our running back, and he tore it up one year for Stoops, and then the next year he didn't. He was terrible. But we had a walk-on running back at OU. And
what was his name?
I think it was Waylon. Whalen. Yeah, I can't remember his first name.
Was it Dominique Whaley, running back?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, maybe it was Whaley.
He was a walk-on. He tore it up.
He was.
It up all year long.
He was from Langston University, right?
Is that what it was? Yeah, he was a transfer.
Yep.
But he didn't get a scholarship, and we thought he was going to be a stud the next year, and then where did he go?
I have no idea where he went, but I do remember who you were talking about, and he was from Langston University. His name was Dominique Whaley, I believe. Definitely Whaley was the last name. He tore it up against Texas.
Yeah.
And this was like,
that was like his coming out party.
Yes, yeah, against Texas, and he looked damn good against Texas. And then all of a sudden, that next year we thought he was going to be a stud, and I don't even know what happened to the guy.
You just reminded me of the true freshman being the player of the game. The last time I can think of that is that guy.
Right.
No, Cohomies Kelly said y'all just trying to check another dude out on the cool. That's why we're trying to get Steve Lee's on here, because we want to check him out.
That's definitely what it is.
I'm gonna look you up and down. You must be a big old boy.
How big a boy are you?
Yeah, that's it.
Y'all think Alabama's out of the playoffs now? I think they might be.
I mean, the way this year is, though, I don't know. I mean,
who knows, man?
Yeah, the way this year is, I wouldn't say they're not. I mean, I get why you say they're not, but
if they finish strong, they probably make it in 2 losses.
Right. They could, yeah.
No, you're talking about Bama?
Yeah.
Oh, 2-loss Bama's getting in the playoffs. Come on now.
Yeah, that's what I
They're Bama.
Vanderbilt was a bad loss for us.
I don't care. You're Bama. And, dude, I hate that because I'm watching Vanderbilt. They're actually good.
Well, they struggled with Ball State, and they lost to Georgia State.
I get that. I'm not saying they're like a juggernaut, but if you sleep on them, they're going to beat you.
Yeah, I hope they beat Texas and Nashville. That'd be great.
That could happen.
Yeah,
I promise you.
They thought they was going to bring Arch Manning in. He's going to save the damn day.
That was great.
I was like, man,
so good.
Arch Manning, all these people talking about Arch Manning and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, he hasn't played anybody. He's got this unrealistic view of how things are going to be. When he comes in the damn game, if he had started against Oklahoma, I thought that would have been a mistake, and they didn't do it. They brought his ass in against Georgia, and that shit went sideways quick, man. So I'm like, yeah, see there?
Yeah, he got humbled real quickly, and all the people that thought he was just all world and – they found out real quick, man, he's human. And because he was that first game he come out, he was putting up video game numbers. And even in the spring game against Texas, I mean, he lit their secondary up. Like, it had me thinking, God, their defense must really suck. And because the way he lit them up, and then he kind of got humbled a little bit in that second game he was in. He threw like 2 interceptions, I think, and then had a couple touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. But yeah, he's definitely not some all world guy. I mean, he's a lot faster than Peyton and Eli though. Like when
he's like twice as fast.
Yeah, he's definitely a hell of a lot more of an athlete. He's more like the grandpa and his dad. He's got some speed. I mean, he ain't Michael Vick. But he's pretty quick though. But I think he's going to be pretty good. I hate to admit it, but I think he's going to end up being pretty good. But he's damn sure not ready right now, and he wasn't ready for Georgia. They were getting ready to put a pop knot on his head.
Neither was Quinn Ewers. I'm telling you, that's the first defense they played this year, other than Oklahoma. But Oklahoma couldn't get a first down, so that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, they played an Oklahoma team that was sort of handicapped. Be honest with you, but
the defense still showed up. They started giving up, but I understand. They're like, dude, I'm sick of this shit. We're on the field all day long.
Defense can't stop the offense from turning the ball over.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, Jesus, that first quarter.
I'm glad.
I started a stream earlier today, and then my lead guitarist called me and was like, "You on your way?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I thought our gig was at 7:00 tonight. It was at 2:00 in the afternoon today. So I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm streaming, dude." So I like jump up and go and do my gig and everything, and come back and stream some more. So I didn't get to see much of the game, and I'm kind of glad because by the time I show up to unpack, we're down 21-0, and my jaw is dropped. Like, what in the hell? And then I go back and rewind my YouTube to see what the hell happened, and I see the fumble, the interception, what the heck, I immediately went from I'm no longer wondering if it's the offensive coordinator. It's obvious that it's the offense. Yeah, fumbles and interceptions. Fumbles not good. Interceptions, I think those are somewhat coachable, in my opinion.
100%.
That throw that he threw, he should have thrown it to the sideline. He 100%. Threw it like 10 yards to the right of the sideline, which gave the defender so much way of a. He gave that ball to that was the quarterback's fault.
We clearly need a quarterback coach.
For sure, we need a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, I think that the whole Miami Virginia Tech thing just changing such a little bit, where they overturned that Hail Mary. I think that was, to keep Miami relevant in the playoff picture in a way. And then they went on to barely beat California, and then they squeaked by Louisville today. And now you got Clemson moving up into the top 10. So I'm thinking, the reason why I'm talking about Alabama might not be out is it looks like the ACC might actually take 2 spots with Miami and Clemson.
They will.
Well, there's a lot of games left to play, and I could see Clemson losing, even though they look like they're getting better.
They are getting better.
I could see them losing. Possibly. I mean, this is a weird year. That's why I say that. Normally, I'd probably be like, probably not, but Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. Kentucky almost beat Georgia. It's weird. I'm not going to bet on any freaking games this year. I normally do.
Man,
I'll wait till like 5 or 6 weeks, and then I get a good idea of what's going on, and I'll make some bets. Right. I still haven't even made a bet.
Dude, what you're saying right now is exactly what I said when I pulled in the driveway a couple hours ago. I said, dude, I am not betting on another game.
It's not worth it this year.
This year is the most wacky-ass year, and I do parlay cards where you got to get all of them correct. And, like, my day started off, I got the 3 correct, and then I really thought Alabama would go up there and beat Tennessee. I thought not smoke them, but I thought Alabama's got the quarterback that's more experienced than Nico, and Nico did misfire a lot of throws. I seen some guys open where he misfired, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's why I picked Bama and bet on them. And somehow, some way, this year, I can't tell you how many times I'll pick a 4-teamer and I'll throw like $25 on a couple 4-teamers, and if I win like $275 on just the one, and I'll have the first 3 won, and I'm almost celebrating it, like, oh yeah, man. And then that last game, I'll be able to pick 3 out of 4 many times, or I'll pick 2 out of 4, and it'll be the 2 games that I guarantee that I end up losing on. But yeah, I'm done betting this year. I'm not betting on nothing because you know what I'm going to do if I bet on anything? I'm going to just let my damn kids pick the numbers on the call.
Coin, yeah.
Flip a
I
damn.
want the blue team.
Well, Tennessee tried to give Alabama that game in the first half. They had multiple turnovers, and Alabama didn't capitalize on any of them.
Right.
It sort of reminded me of the Oklahoma-Tennessee game. Oklahoma got numerous turnovers in the first half and just didn't capitalize. Tennessee tried to give that game to Oklahoma. They tried to give it to us, and we were only up 7-0 at halftime. And they come back to beat us.
Yep. And then there was the missed field goal, because there was a point in that game where I'm like, dude, I was watching it and I was like, man, this pisses me off. Alabama should be up at least 17-0 right now.
Exactly.
And it just didn't happen. And
the guy that we got from Miami, Ohio, that won the Groves Award last year, the reason why he won that Groves Award probably last year and was able to make all those kicks is he didn't have all the pressure that he has in the SEC. When you're playing at Miami, Ohio, there ain't no people in the stands hollering at you. When you're kicking in Neyland Stadium, it's a lot more pressure.
Yeah.
And we've missed like 2 or 3 field goals with him already.
That's right. Well, gentlemen, I think I need to call it a night, man. My back is screaming right now.
All right, brother.
It was good seeing y'all tonight, man. Y'all be good. I'll be in touch, JPC.
This last pick that I put up for Steve Lee's, he was hollering about some long turds, just to show you that I can still be nice to you, Steve.
That's a good one to go out on. Y'all have a good one.
Take it easy, man.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. We were just talking about the whole weird year, don't bet, you're going to lose money type thing. I think it's because of this, the NIL, the transfer portal, all that stuff. You don't have camaraderie. You don't have brotherhood. You don't have people leaving college thinking I lasted 4 years with this team or whatever like that. So you're not getting cohesive teams. Let's put it this way. I think the brand of football is getting worse.
That's why you see Army and Navy doing what they're doing.
That's great point.
Yeah.
Those guys are playing because they love the game. They
don't give a crap about the NIL. They're not going to transfer.
If they got offered NIL money, yeah, they might take it. I'm not naive, but the thing is, they're not, and they're, like you said, they're more cohesive, and they're out there fighting for each other.
So you can call Dabo Swinney an idiot, but I think he's doing what I'm talking about, which he's trying to find players that are going to stick around.
Yeah, he's actually stood his ground, and you got to admire him for that, I guess.
Yeah. And they're not doing that bad.
Yeah, they had one bad loss, and they've rectified it since. They haven't really had a hard schedule, but I mean, Virginia was 5-2, so I mean, Virginia is a decent team this year.
That's why I made this YouTube channel, so I can bitch about things like that.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure on that, man. Definitely the transfer portal mixed with the NIL, all of it. You know, you got guys, they're no longer playing ball and going to a school to get an education. You know what I mean?
No, they're getting paid.
Right. Like
they get that money. They get that money and they're lazy. I see these commercials with Jalen Milroe in them, man, doing these little collared commercials and stuff. And I'm like, man, that shit sucks.
Oh, here's another thing to touch on. I'm a junior, and I should be the first-round draft pick. Maybe. We don't know. But I can make $4 million next year if I go to Oregon because they want me to transfer for my senior season. I might just stick around for another year in college so I can make $4 million instead of, I don't know if I'll even play for the Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? They might suck or something.
Make your money and invest it so you don't have to go through the rigors of getting hit and getting CTE, right?
Yeah, so I'm not saying it's like a bad thing necessarily, but the dynamic of college football is just turned upside down, and I don't even recognize it anymore. I used to be able to bet like a 6-teamer, and maybe one of them would miss or something, but I would hit a lot of those 5 or 6 teamers. It's just hard to do. I can't even do 3 for 3 now.
I'm telling you, yeah, you are speaking my language right now. I mean, holy, I have. It's all year. I can, and I'll hit 3 out of 4, or I'll hit 2 out of 3. But it is impossible to hit 3 for 3. Even 3 for 3.
Even 3 for 3, yeah.
It's crazy, dude. And I'm like, man, so should I just bet? Should I go against what I think is going to happen? And then you'll have teams like, for example, today, Georgia. You know, Georgia all of a sudden looks like the Georgia that we seen last year.
Yep. And,
you know, and against Clemson they did, yes. But all the other games in between that, dude, they looked like my opinion of Georgia was, man, they're still pretty good, but they're not what we've seen the last 3 years. They have taken a couple steps back, and then they go out and they just whoop Texas's ass. And I know Texas hadn't really played anybody, but you know they did beat whatever's left of Oklahoma, and they beat whatever's left of Michigan. And they kicked the piss out of both of us, you know, Oklahoma and Michigan. And I know Oklahoma is just a shell of what they used to be, and so is Michigan, but still, and they had the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense, or at least top 5 in both. So,
well, usually you can bet a trend. You know, like for example, Mississippi State was getting blowed out by people like Toledo.
yes.
Now all of a sudden they're competing. They're within 10 points of beating Georgia. And then they were within 7 or 10 points of beating A&M this week.
Right.
That could be a product of coaching.
You can't go on trends anymore.
That could be a product of coaching, though. Like I believe there are teams that get better throughout the year, and if you look at the head coach, that's the reason why. Like I don't want to bring up Mike Gundy from OSU, but he's not doing it this year, but he tends to start slow, and their team usually gets better throughout the year. Since we've had Brent Venables, I haven't really seen progression throughout a year. Like every single game, he brings the same product.
Yeah, and it's been getting worse on offense. I'm like, dude, we get worse every year, every year. Every week, and it's like the Cat Williams where he's like, man, every planet we discover, it's more fucked up than the last one. It's fucked up. Well, that's how every week has been with this offense. It's more fucked up this week than it was the last week, and it's just like, God, dude, what is going on? And at the end of the day, the buck stops with him. You know, he is the head coach. He's the one that hired all these guys. These are all the players that he handpicked. Like, and Killer Breeze said earlier, you know, it's not like we've had horrible recruiting. Like with Nebraska, when they started to fall off, their recruiting classes were horrible, dude. They all, it's like, what in the hell? But with Oklahoma, it's not like that. We've had top 10, top 5, top 10. Like we've had 3 good recruiting classes in a row. There's just no reason for us to be this bad. And I get the receivers being hurt and all that. But like Mike Leach came here and we had a makeshift offensive line. We had a guy like Brandon Daniels who had played quarterback for OU as a receiver. And we had Antoine Savage, who was a quarterback in high school, playing receiver. Josh Heupel, who was probably a 1-star recruit, playing quarterback. Quentin Griffin, who was 5'0", breaking his red shirt in '99 to play running back. And that offense moved the ball, and they scored points. So a good offensive coordinator will figure it out with the athletes that he has.
Well, I want to say something. You touched on, maybe it was Killer Breeze, but you did say something earlier about Navy and Army. They're ranked. And they don't have a 4 or 5-star. They might not even have a 3-star on their damn team.
Exactly.
But we got 4 stars all up and down our roster, and a few 5 stars. Yep. So we don't have like Alabama or Georgia, but we're getting there. It's with Brent Venables. So whenever he made that point, I wanted to touch on it, but I was lagging so bad trying to figure out my crap. But it's literally what you just said is not true. It's fact. You bring in a Mike Leach, and you'll see next week we'll double our yardage and our points.
Yes.
Just from that one guy coming in 1 week. I know that people think, that's impossible. No, it's not. I look what happened to OU when Stoops got there. That first year, we didn't necessarily blow the doors out of the water, but we went from the John Blake years to watching Josh Heupel pass it all over the field with Mike Leach, and we were like, holy crap, this is amazing. We only went 6-6 or whatever it was, lost to Ole Miss in the bowl game versus Eli Manning. But even though we weren't great, OU was like, holy shit, we're onto something here. And we'll win a national championship the next year. So don't tell me that somebody can't come in and turn this shit around. We got the players.
I think Lane Kiffin's a lot better at it than even Mike Leach. Lane Kiffin will, tailor his offense to whatever his talent is, man. He'll scheme it. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree with that, but look at Mike Leach, Kentucky, Texas Tech. Everywhere he went, didn't matter. Mississippi State, they got better. Everywhere he went, they got better.
That's what I'm saying. Him and Mike Leach both, they know how to scheme to fit their talent. They're not going to try to force an offense on their talent.
But Mike Leach's scheme is so easy. Half of the plays are screens to the wide receivers left and right. It's just that's his running plays. He doesn't call a running play. The only time they call a running play is when the quarterback audibles out of it.
Right. It's like he was a genius, dude. He knew how to make something out of nothing. And it did seem so simple. You're like, dude, his offense is so simple. But somehow it didn't matter if it was Washington State, Texas Tech, Mississippi State. Somehow Kentucky. Somehow that dude knew how to put up big numbers and points everywhere he went, dude.
Yeah, Tim Couch wasn't that good.
Mike
Leach made him look that good.
He just couldn't win national championships or conference championships is the problem with Mike Leach.
Yes, and that is true. But one of the things I've been saying, like with
You think if Mike Leach was the head coach at Alabama, sorry to interrupt you, that he wouldn't win national championships? Because I guarantee he'd have like just as many as Saban if he had a 30-year career just at Alabama.
He might.
That offense is dominant. I mean, dude, everybody's doing what Mike Leach did. They're all just taking what he did. Lincoln Riley is a prophet.
Because,
of his
Kalen
offense.
DeBoer is an offensive genius too. And I'm sort of like, Kalen DeBoer is probably what Mike Price would have been if he hadn't got fired during the offseason at a titty bar. I don't know if y'all remember the Mike Price shit. Mike Price was an offensive genius from Washington State. He never made it to the field because he got fired. He went to a titty bar and brought the strippers back and a big ass bill on the damn university card.
I semi-remember that.
Yeah, and Kalen DeBoer is Mike Price not fired right now. That's my feelings on it.
I think DeBoer's a good coach. He's got to figure out Alabama. That's a whole nother juggernaut. That's like somebody going to the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dealing with those fans and that media and stuff. It's not like Washington. Come on.
Right. Yeah, man. What you were saying with the deal with Mike Leach, I've been saying like the biggest difference between Mike Leach and Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln Riley's won Heisman's, Mike Leach didn't win any Heisman's.
Tim Couch, did he not win it?
Oh yeah, Tim Couch won the Heisman, and he was the offensive coordinator for him. So,
Heupel should have won it.
But Mark Mangino was the offensive coordinator in 2000.
That's right. I'm sorry, you're right.
But he did have the one with Tim Couch. But here's what I was saying. 3 years ago, people was putting Lincoln Riley on this pedestal like he was, one of the top coaches. And I was telling people then, I said, dude, the biggest difference between Lincoln Riley and Mike Leach is that Mike Leach had the head coaching job at Texas Tech and Washington State, Mississippi State, not USC and Oklahoma. And I'd
not
always
blue bloods.
Not a blue blood. If Mike Leach would have ever gotten a head coach, like if he would have had a head coaching job gifted to him at Oklahoma or USC or Alabama,
they tried to get him at Tennessee. They were going to hire him. The Tennessee athletic director went out to LA to hire Mike Leach, and Phil Fulmer went behind his back and undermined him and got the AD fired. And they ended up not hiring Mike Leach, and they got Jeremy Pruitt. You know what happened.
Right.
Mike
Fulmer
Leach
has that much pull.
If Mike Leach had gotten that job at Tennessee, y'all might have got to see what Mike Leach could do with real resources.
Yes, and I would have loved to have seen what he could do with real resources. And I mean, I know it's hard to say he would have been like, because Nick Saban's the GOAT. He is the best that I've ever seen. It's hard to say he would have won 6 out of 12 or whatever it was. I think it was 6 from 2009 to 2020. So 12, 13 years, he had won 6. I don't know if he would have done that, but I'm telling you, he would have done some fucking damage, dude. If he would have had the resources of an Alabama, or even if he would have got a job at, Oklahoma.
He probably at least won conference titles, sort of like Lincoln Riley did when he was at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I put him up there.
Probably more like Lincoln Riley.
I put Saban up there with the best. He's obviously the GOAT, but look at Michigan State, LSU, Alabama. I mean, 2 blue bloods, but he didn't do very well in the NFL. But I bet he could. Like, he probably didn't have the right opportunity, the right whatever. Where'd he go? Miami? I can't remember. But
if he would have got Drew Brees like he wanted, I think
he probably could have done something.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying is, whenever I say I look at a team, I look at the coach. I don't look at their players. Alabama's loaded, and they're not doing very well right now. So obviously I'm pointing straight to DeBoer. Not like, hey, he needs to be fired. He's no hot seat or anything. But it's coach, man. It's Saban leaves, and they're just not as good all of a sudden.
Right.
And they're not as disciplined either.
Right. And I know they went out and they got the best guy available, and
I agree.
Maybe it'll work out, maybe it won't, and if it don't work out, that's part of life. It's just like us with Brent Venables. We went out and got the guy that we thought was a good fit, and we thought pairing him with Jeff Lebby. Hey, you get Brent Venables and you get a really good offensive coordinator to go with him. Man, who knows what this could be? And now a lot of us are wanting to get rid of Brent Venables, and it's just, it sucks. It is part of life, man. It's how it goes sometimes. And I feel better about Alabama's situation than I do ours, for damn sure. But Alabama's standards are really high, man, and they have 2 losses already. I'm sure there's a lot of them that ain't happy about it. But
I would imagine they're the highest of any college out there, right, OC? I mean, you guys are the most dominant program in the history of college.
Yep, they are. Yeah.
So if you're the GOAT, you got the target on your back. I mean, Oklahoma has a target on their back, but not like Alabama.
Not like Bama, right?
Well, No Coney's Kelly brought up something a while ago that I just want to touch on real quick. He said he thought 4 SEC schools would get the playoffs this year. Y'all think there'll be 4 spots for the SEC?
There should be.
Yeah.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either.
There should
I think 3
all,
Big Ten and 4 SEC minimum.
I don't think we'll get 4 in.
I don't either, but
I think that they'll be like, oh, we can't just
the
SEC. Now after the poll
hang
comes
on,
out tomorrow,
ESPN loves the SEC. Remember,
if the poll comes out tomorrow, it should be 3 Big Ten schools in the top 3 spots. So you got Oregon, Penn State, and
but Georgia beat the number 1 team though.
Yeah.
How are you going to put Penn State at number 1? How are you going to put Oregon? Well, I guess you can put Oregon there.
Oregon won, Penn State 2. I think it'd be who would be 3? Ohio State?
No, they lost to Oregon. Well, maybe because they lost to Oregon number 2.
Oregon's going to be number 1.
I'd put Georgia. I'd put Georgia there.
If they go by who's the better team and not just wins and losses like they claim they do, then
yeah, because I think Georgia's better than Penn State.
Maybe Georgia should be number 1 over Oregon and Penn State.
Well, is that a knee-jerk reaction from this game? Because that's kind of what I'm feeling. I mean, that's my knee-jerk reaction.
Think Georgia, to me, Oregon struggled with Idaho and a bunch of other teams early on, and they barely squeaked by Ohio State. So I don't know. I just feel like Georgia's probably better than Oregon, in my opinion.
No,
I think so.
But will they actually do that? I don't know. I kind of feel like it'll be Oregon number 1, and then maybe they'll put Georgia number 2. And even though we all would bet on Georgia if they was to do a head-to-head match tomorrow, we would bet on Georgia. Just like, last year's whole deal with Georgia not making it into the playoff, we all would have bet Georgia to beat a lot of, almost
Washington. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have bet Georgia to beat Washington, Florida State, Texas. And even, it would be hard.
It would be hard for them to beat Alabama.
Because we know we watched them do it and they couldn't,
Yep.
They played Alabama and couldn't beat them. But they, so there would have been a lot of people that would still say, kind of like with us, we beat Texas, but everybody swore, hey, if they played again, I'm betting Texas. I don't Oklahoma got lucky and they're not going to be able to beat them twice. Maybe people would have said the same thing with Bama. But then Bama beats them again this year. But yeah, I think how it would go, like it don't always go with who you think could beat the other, but I think just it's a combination of like being the best plus your record and who you beat, and I think it's going to be Oregon number 1 and Georgia maybe number 2, I guess, and then Ohio State could be third, I guess. I don't know.
Penn State's still undefeated.
Yeah, no, that Penn State be 4th or
and
3rd.
I think they're dude. I don't think. God, I wouldn't pick them to beat Georgia for sure. I wouldn't pick them. I wouldn't pick them to. Man,
they just don't feel like a top 5 team.
See, it's a weird year.
I'm saying, a lot of these teams that are undefeated, they don't feel like top 5 teams. Just like Miami. Miami is probably the weakest undefeated team there out there, in my opinion.
So we're saying that there's a lot of parity this year.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's number 1 at the moment now.
Oh, I know.
That's right.
I couldn't tell you with a straight face who's for sure the best, honestly.
Yep. I mean, there's been plenty of years where I'm like, oh, Alabama's clearly the best.
Yeah,
Georgia's clearly the best. But nobody's standing out.
Texas, the myth of Texas is gone now.
Oregon looks pretty good, but they don't look like a juggernaut.
Texas didn't just get beat. They got beat by double digits at home. This shit wasn't in Athens. This was in Austin.
Right.
And they beat them by double digits. So.
And it was worse than that.
Yeah,
I know. The refs helped them out in the second half. I'm not saying they were trying to help them win the game.
I was going to say the same thing. It really wasn't as close as the score indicated.
No, it wasn't.
They got dominated.
Yep, they did. The first like 3 quarters of watching that game, I was like, God, dude, I feel like I just watched this game.
Yeah.
Dude, their O-line, I thought our O-line was garbage. All of a sudden, Texas's O-line is garbage. But, yeah, man, this whole year is wild, man. It is. But, when we're talking about could there be 4 or 5 SEC teams that make it in the playoffs, I do think that, as wild as everything is this year, I do think there is a world where I could see like maybe Georgia gets in, Bama, Tennessee, Texas.
Oh yeah, Tennessee. Where are they ranked?
Yeah, where
are you going to put them now?
Right, because
they just beat Alabama.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I could see Texas, Tennessee, Bama, and Georgia. I could see those 4 teams getting in, and then you still got guys like Ole Miss. They. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, who's the 4th best?
Alabama's going to probably lose to LSU.
Oh, LSU would be the 4th best.
So that's why I don't think Alabama's going to playoffs this year.
You think Alabama's going to lose to LSU?
I do.
I mean, they could lose to them, but
LSU looks like they're getting better throughout the season. That's for sure.
They dominated Arkansas today in Fayetteville. 34-10, right?
Man, I like Arkansas. I want them to do good, damn it.
Well, you didn't do good today.
No. Like, it's hard pulling for them.
Where's the Arkansas team that played Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that defense?
What happened with Kentucky and Florida? I didn't get the final score on that. Florida was leading.
No way.
Yeah,
what a weird year.
They was up 27-13 at halftime. I mean, how does Florida's anemic offense put up 27 points on Kentucky's defense?
Right.
I mean, Kentucky's got a hell of a defense.
Maybe they fired their offensive coordinator. I'm kidding. Like Florida State, golly. Like they were 1 game away from going to the playoffs last year. Or undefeated, saying they should be in the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That was other than that one Notre Dame team that made the championship game undefeated, that is by far the worst team to ever make the playoffs or have a chance of being in a national championship.
So Share the Light asks, where does Clemson fall on the list? I think Clemson's whole season probably hinges on winning out. They got to be. I don't think they can lose another game. If Clemson loses another game, they're definitely out. Miami might be able to survive a loss to Clemson.
Well, but they have it where if you're a conference champ, you're automatically in, right? I guess as long as they can win the ACC, then they're in. But
that's right.
They're definitely looking a hell of a lot better than they was that first game. That first game, dude, they got beat kind of similar to the way Oklahoma got beat against Texas.
It was the same exact score.
It was what I thought it was. I knew it was either the same or really close to the same. And I remember thinking, dude, what has happened to Clemson? Like, Clemson used to be a damn good football team, dude, and they have fallen off. And then all of a sudden, they've won every game since then. And I know their schedule is helping them out there. But, yeah, I mean, they've gotten things back on track. And I was even thinking about that a lot this week. I was like, man, is it possible after we got smoked by Texas? I'm like, dude, I don't even know what we're going to do with this. I mean, I think this is a dumpster fire, but maybe I'm wrong, just like I was wrong about Clemson week 1. And anyway, yeah, they proved today that we're not Clemson. We're not able to bounce back after that.
Hey, the Baker Mayfield year when we went to the playoffs and got our butts whooped by Georgia? Well, we didn't get our butts whooped, but we scored 50 freaking points and still lost.
Yeah.
Take that offense and then take this year's defense. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
No, I'm just saying that's a national championship, right?
Yeah, they would have won it in 2017, yeah.
With ease. Because they just couldn't stop a fly.
Right.
Like literally, like that game versus Georgia, we didn't hold them to a field goal or a punt. They literally scored every single time they got the ball.
Yeah.
And they ran the ball the whole day. They literally ran for like 10 yards a carry that game. We couldn't stop a fly. So when I say like, oh, there's a lot of people out there like, oh, the OU defense isn't as good as you think it is. If we had the Kyler Murray or Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield, you'd name any one of them with this defense. What do you think?
Did you change your name or something?
Who? What you dick? I was like, who are you talking about? And I see my name. Hang on. Let me show you the real John Jeremy.
But yeah, I know we got up like 31-14 on them. And as soon as I'm thinking like, oh yeah, dude, this is Dunsky, because I didn't view that Georgia offense as like a great offense.
No.
And they ended up coming back and beating us, and you would think, oh man, they must have thrown it down. They must have just been throwing the ball and burning your secondary up. No, they just ran the ball right down our field and came back. I've never seen a team just.
Who was that? Was that Nick Chubb and?
Yeah.
And Nick, what was the other guy? They had two NFL running backs.
Todd Gurley, maybe?
No, Gurley was before that.
Yeah.
They had two guys that are in. I don't know if they're still in the NFL, but they were studs in the NFL, and both of them were like duo running backs.
Right. Yeah, I'm having a brain fart on the other one. It was definitely Nick Chubb. And
I can't remember his name, but yeah, Chubb was the main running back. He was more of the ground and pound it, hit hard guy, and then the other guy had a lot more of that takeoff speed. But anyway, the point is
Johnny Johnson.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Next, Halen McDaddy. I didn't even know you could do that, man. Hey, that's how you
got to mess around over here.
Are you able to play clips on here on StreamYard?
Yeah, I can.
No, if I put one in,
it's got music on it. It might.
Oh, it's my music. I created the music.
Nice.
Everything on my videos is all me, unless I steal something from Google, like an image. But I know how to manipulate that.
You manipulate people? Know what you say?
Well, I mean,
Steve Lee's ain't gonna like it, man.
How else am I gonna?
You don't like people going out and manipulating people and shit.
There you go. Are you able to show that clip? Can you even see that clip that I added?
Yeah, Chuck Mustache.
Oh, you can do it.
Did you guys see that Oklahoma-South Carolina game? Oh, my gosh. Looks like Brent Venables went from the warm seat to the hot seat. All the fans are on the message boards right now calling for his head. Oh, my gosh. Can you see why? Holy shit. I'm live streaming right now if you want to come check it out. See ya.
Oh, I cut the live streaming part out because I'm not live streaming anymore. But that wasn't the YouTube upload. Anyway, that's cool. I just wanted to see if you can do that. I didn't know you could do that through StreamYard.
I ain't either. We learned something today.
Sweet.
It took us to 1:43 in the morning to learn that shit, but we learned it.
Man, is it really that? That's oh my God.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to get off here, brother.
Yeah. No, as soon as you said that, I was like, holy shit. It's late.
I didn't plan on partying all night with you guys, but I guess that's how it goes.
Saturday Night Live. It's like college football Saturday Night Live.
This is a good time. Well, apparently, if I use this with just nothing behind me, everything works great. But as soon as I want to use my green screen, it's like, no, it's not going to work. Stupid. But anyway, I got it working. I won't use this stupid green screen anymore when we do this.
All right, brothers. Appreciate having y'all come in and help me out tonight. I'm fixing to get up off of here. If y'all want to give a shout out to anything, just go ahead and let it flow.
Yeah. Shout out to Outlaw. Everybody hit him up.
I'm talking about y'all got a channel y'all want to plug or some product you want to plug.
Yeah, shout out to Outlaw.
Same here.
Give it up to Outlaw.
Let's get some information on your channel. That's what I was saying.
You've already done all that. You're good. I'm the NIL commish. Share the light, Randy Dalton. There you go. I'm doing it for you. I'm plugging it. There you go. Fred Bagley, I already got you. So 2 people in here.
That's right.
Come and sub.
That's right. We actually still got 20-something watchers, but
are they? Well, dude, hey, God bless.
All 27 of you.
Yeah.
Come over to my channel and leave the Outlaws channel.
We had about 56 earlier, but they done went to sleep.
That was a bad
I don't
plug.
I mean, and you got to figure, dude, OU lost, Bama lost. You know, I mean, I'm shocked there's this many people still giving a shit, honestly. I mean,
that's right. We're real fans.
You know what, dude? You can't be the best every year and win every week. It would be nice, but you know, hey, you got to learn how to lose every now and then. And this year, we're getting really good at it. OU is, I mean, we're going to be professionals at this losing shit.
I think we're all going to beat up on each other. That's the concern I have with the SEC going forward. And that's why I don't think we should go to 9 conference games. Why should we beat up on each other?
Even more, right? Yeah.
Yeah, let's schedule Big 12 games. Come on.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.
See you guys.
Take it easy, man.
It's good to meet you.
All right. It's been real. It's been fun. Stay on here a long time tonight. 2 hours and 30 minutes. College football Saturday Night Live. Had a damn good show, as the Hodge twins once famously said. If y'all don't mind, share me out to your friends. You want to join the Outlaw Posse, do that. You see people in here with their badges. If you want to get deputized like Fred Bagley and others that were in here tonight, there's a little join button on there. $2.99 a month, 75 cents a week, just a half a bottle of water. And you'll be in the Outlaw Posse. You get a random 4 horseman shout out on the podcast as well as possibly the comment of the day. Jay said, I would like to know why OU was blessed with the hardest schedule in the SEC and Texas got the easiest schedule. I wouldn't say y'all had the hardest, but y'all definitely had a harder schedule than Texas. Texas got a huge solid as far as the schedule goes. And we see when they played a team that was actually pretty good, they lost by double digits at home. So I feel you, Jay. I feel you. That's right. Good times made out of bad times, as Johnny John said. You don't see Alabama and Oklahoma fans, the 2 Crimson Nations. We don't desert our team. Even when we lose, we're in here. People say, where you at? Where you at? Here we are. Take a shot. Texas fans, where are you at? USC fans, where are you at? We're here. Y'all not. We're the real deal. And that's all I got to say about that. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.